Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Aristochats podcast, episode 13.
Yeah.
And the final episode for this season, the first season of the Aristochats podcast. Before we get into everything, first I just want to welcome back Finn, who's our first returning guest.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hello, Finn.
Yeah, you'll speak now, so I'll say like, hello, Finn. Welcome
What's
back.
up?
It's
me, Luminescent. I'm the guest on the
well,
podcast.
the cat's out of the bag. We were supposed to have Luminescent on today, but we didn't. We have Finn instead.
Yeah.
We'll call that a side grade
Yeah.
to keep everyone happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so finishing off
Back
the
by popular demand.
you might want to try like speaking into your mic would help too.
Back by popular demand.
Yeah.
Well, we did have some topics we didn't get around to last time as well.
Finn was like not the one guest, but certainly the most prepared guest. Like he came to us and he was like, "Hey, like a page of stuff like these are all really cool topics," and they were all really good.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, all right, okay." When you have your own podcast,
Yeah, it's mine now.
Yeah, but it was actually really cool. I thought some of the topics were really interesting. And if you didn't listen to that episode, go have a listen to it because I think that's like personally like one of my favorite episodes, the first Finn one. So you should make this one equally as good, I hope. And
All right.
oh, and for everyone who's watching on like or listening on Spotify, Era has a slowpoke that he's playing.
Yeah,
with.
we have two other guests. We have the Slowpoke plushie and the Rocky plushie. So Slowpoke, the Pokemon, and Rocky from Kirby. From Hoshinokabi.
When's Slowpoke coming into Smash? When's Slowpoke getting into Smash?
Piranha
You
Plant
would
can do it,
main.
Yeah.
You would say it's such a Ben Pokemon.
Well, when Piranha Plant got announced, I'm like, why couldn't it be like Bulborb or something instead?
I've always
really cool.
wanted like just a random Pokemon, not like Lucario.
Well,
like Lucario's cool, but just
Doesn't
like
Surely Puff fits the bill.
Puff's been in it since 64 now.
Not really, because 64...
Well, I guess at the time she was like kind of popular.
Yeah, because the anime was super popular.
Yeah.
I mean, even like just like what if just like Kabutops? Just
Yeah, that would be sick.
that'd be
That
cool.
is sick.
There are a lot of cool Pokemon.
I can't believe Blaziken's not in Smash. To be honest,
Blaziken feels like
Yeah.
such a fit.
I mean, I guess Incineroar's not really a random Pokemon, but he kind of is.
no starter could be like for the Metric I'm using. You can't have like any starters.
Yeah.
like just some random like Chandelure. Give me Chandelure in it. Like
That'd be cool.
I would
The
Conkeldurr or something.
Chandelure.
Fucking
yeah, I was gonna
character,
say
Yeah,
but-
that's a Jace character.
Chandelure's in Pokken.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
You have an archetype there.
Or like Gengar is not fully random, but I think Gengar would actually make a fucking awesome Smash character.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. I also wanted to, before we really jump into stuff, I just wanted to mention thanks so much for listening to all of our content throughout the first season and supporting us. It's been really appreciated, and most of the feedback we've gotten has been really good, or even if it's not good, it's at least constructive. So really appreciate that and having a lot of fun doing it. So thanks very much.
Thank you.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And just hanging out with these guys on a weekly basis, get me out, send help, has been really fun, has been really good. So, leading the agenda today, I wanted to talk about Scuffed World Tour, which is, I think, starting in probably like 12 hours or something. Right. That would be like American
It's like
Saturday.
this
yeah,
weekend.
so
So who has put that all together, the Scuff?
So Ludwig.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah,
He's
so
got the money flowing.
yeah. So I mean, if anyone is somehow not across this, obviously Panda Cup and Smash World Tour got cancelled for all of that drama, which we won't go into. But Ludwig, being the savior of Smash that he is, has done what's called the Scuffed World Tour, where he's having a bracket of how many people? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 players. Invitational of 16 players, playing a double elimination bracket starting, I'm guessing, in like 12 hours or something. And also being in that event is one of our own Australian players, Jay Dizzle.
Yeah.
Is that across just one day?
I don't know. I'm not
Because
sure.
it's only 16.
Because
and it's a double
Probably
limb.
could do it, yeah.
Oh, that means I can actually watch it. Normally with these majors, like it's like Monday mornings, like the top 32 or top 8, and then I at best can see it on my break.
You couldn't think, like, I don't know, unless they do a bunch of other content or something at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you think that would get done pretty quickly? But I'm going to give you guys the matchups for the first round, and I want your thoughts on it.
On each one?
Yeah, sure.
All
Why
right.
not? So we're starting
Who
with
you got each one?
Leo versus Ferps. I know Ferps was the only player on this list I didn't know. He's an international. He plays Kazuya. You're right, and he apparently makes like most of the tech. He like develops the character very heavily. But I don't know.
Is he
actually,
South American or something
not
like
sure.
that?
I think he's.
or-
I don't know.
Right, okay, yeah.
What do
I
you
don't
mean
wanna say
develops the tech?
Like he's a
don't
big
know.
labber. He's probably
Yeah.
a big guy in the Kazuya
like,
Discord or
develops
something.
like a lot of the stuff that they use.
What-
Apparently.
I think.
I don't know.
There's
what, like,
something
what
called
does
the-
he? What? There's
Well,
nothing
there's-
to lab. Like
well,
electric
there's
with
plenty
God
to
it
lab.
is.
I think there's a
Zero
lot
to
of stuff
deaths
to
and,
lab.
you know,
Ah,
all
I'm
that,
not
I
convinced.
think there might be.
I think
All the
there's the
different
FERPS tech,
exchanges.
which is doing electric and then someone goes on a platform, and then you jump up, wave dash, and then you do I forgot what it's called. You know the input where you crouch and then you release the crouch and then press A and he does that electric punch.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a tech.
But no,
But the
it's
idea, it's like an option
tech,
select.
but like options.
Yeah,
So
he's like this. I guess he was like,
He's
guys, this is-
optimizing different
Yeah,
situations
like,
and like routes.
Look how this
you know.
character uses, like, look at that,
Yeah.
like, combo chart.
if you
Look
do
how
this,
he uses F-tilt.
if you do this
you
like
know.
option select in this situation, then like there's nothing your opponent.
That might be a
kind of
2-0.
thing.
Yeah. To...
First.
I mean, it's like...
He doesn't. I've got Leo, but like it's
Yeah.
Kazuya, so
Yeah.
I've
You
got
never
Leo.
know.
I feel like, I mean, Leo's obviously I think, like, the best player at actually, like just annihilating weaknesses in characters. You know, so obviously you're going to, like, tip Leo, but...
Who will Leo play?
Byleth probably.
Byleth, I would say.
I think Byleth is
He
pretty strict.
He played basically straight Byleth at the Ludwig Invitational, but did play
He
like
did play
one
some
or two
Aegis
sets.
games.
Did he? I was going to say Joker because he busted out Joker into once.
I think he did it into like Debuzz.
Yeah, it was into Debuzz.
Hates that guy.
Yeah.
Want this guy dead? I'll play Joker.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll have to go Leo there. I assume these are all best of 5, so I'll go like 3-1 or something. 3-0 actually. Changed my mind. 3-0. Thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd probably 3-1, 3-0.
Riddles versus Gluttony or Gluttony. Or
Gluttony.
Gluttony.
So another Kazuya and Wario probably. Who's his secondary? Like Gluttony?
Does he secondary?
I thought he did.
I
thought
think
he had another one.
I think he's the kind of player where he has all these because he's so fundamentally good.
Yeah.
And he has like a wolf and he has like a Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he does sometimes sandbag Wolf in Europe.
But it's probably
Yeah, I don't think he'll be busting out
probably
DK
the
against
Wario.
Kazuya, I wouldn't think.
No.
I mean, I feel like Wario would do pretty well against
Okay.
Kazuya, right?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't
like
know.
He's
You
definitely a better
wouldn't-
player.
You wouldn't need to
Yeah.
play against Kazuya.
you can slow it down. But
You
I
can,
think I've still got. It can go either way really, but I think the rest of these sets will probably go either way.
Yeah, they're
but
all pretty
I've got riddles.
I'll go Gluto. Maybe that's hopium though. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Riddles, I feel like since he won that major, hasn't been quite as strong in his performances. But maybe I haven't followed it closely enough. But he like won a major, like big
Yeah.
major, and he hasn't been quite as strong. Hasn't been.
He's
I
not
feel like
one.
top
It's
5. in
another
itself.
major.
Well, I don't think he's like top 5 to the other.
I
ones,
don't know what else he's been at.
Okay. He
Well,
went to a couple.
I would say Gluttony would probably win,
Okay.
but it could be close. I don't know.
Now this will be a very high quality smash set. Tweak versus Meister. Now Tweak has won 2 majors. Oh no, sorry, he lost to Spargo. So he's won 1 and then placed second in another one. So 1 and 2 in his last 2 majors.
Has
So-
Meister done much in the last year and a half? He's still been
Probably not.
Yeah, no, he came like second at SmashCon and
right.
stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Still very strong.
Any idea on the matchup of like Diddy Game Watch?
Uh,
I don't know.
in Ultimate, I'd probably
Yeah.
give the edge to Diddy slightly,
Okay.
but like Tweak might not even
I
play Diddy. He
mean,
might play Sephiroth.
I think Tweak's a better player. I think he's in really good form, so I'll go Tweak.
Yeah, I'd also have Tweak, but I could also see
Yeah, I can see.
again. It's probably like they're all like either way, but I've got Tweak.
I'll tell you this one. I'm confident. Light the buzz. I think Light wins it. Like I'm pretty confident Light will win that.
3-0.
3-1.
3-1.
You'll get some
And
bullshit.
who does the Buzz play these days? Just
It's like Rosa
it's like
and
Rosa.
Min Min kind of. I don't even know if he uses all.
does he have fun? Does he enjoy himself?
Yes.
He obviously
I
I
enjoys
think he
himself.
does. I think Well, he's that more like methodical.
Yeah.
Like, slow the game
Yeah.
down. Like he's
Yeah.
literally been like that since Brawl.
Mm.
So
I would pick Light for this set. I think Fox is probably just too fast for Rosalina.
I think it's like
and,
Fox
Min
is too fast, and
And
I think Light is too fast.
yeah,
Min.
and
That as
Fox
well.
is
Yeah,
arguably Min Min's worst.
I would
matchup.
imagine so.
Interesting.
Kind of reminds me of like Corrin in Smash 4 because like Corrin and Min Min are kind of similar in that
Yeah.
they zone people from like really far away. Well, obviously Min Min's to the extreme, but Fox had a really good matchup against Corrin in Smash
Yeah.
4.
Yeah. It's funny that like Corrin was like the biggest sort of range abuser in Smash 4, and then you go into this game, and that range is effectively tripled.
Yeah.
It's Min Min. It's
Well,
like
they had that like the whole like just like dick measuring since like Smash 4.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was like Shulk. They had when
Yeah.
they first
Yeah.
showed Corrin, it was like Shulk doing their Smash, and you're like Corrin's is bigger. And then they showed like the Belmonts, and like Belmonts is bigger. Now we've got, and then they had like Byleth sort
Byleth
of. They're like
forward
the
smash,
distance demon.
Yeah.
And you're like okay.
And
And then
yeah.
Min Min's like Minmin's
And we
Yeah,
all have
take your
that
cake.
phrase of like, dude, I'm half a stage away, but it actually applies.
Yeah.
You can genuinely just be half a stage away and take like
More than
40%.
half,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Now, the next one's really exciting. Akla vs. Jadizzle. Jadizzle, a bit unlucky here, I think. Actually being second last seed instead of last seed. I talked to him. He would have preferred to be last seed and get MKLeo, who went game 5 with another young Link. Instead having Steve, which I don't think he's as comfortable with. Akla, obviously, a very, tough obstacle.
Is there much? Do we know why Jedizzle is there in particular? Like,
What are you trying to say?
Well, 'cause he
Are you lost?
did he qualify outright for the Smash World Tour?
Yeah.
Or did he go to the
Yes.
last chance
I
qualifiers?
think, no, he didn't go to the
I think
last
he
chance
I
qualifiers.
think he qualified
Yeah.
because of
He did not
winning,
go to
like,
the
everything in
last
Australia.
chance qualifiers. So
Right,
I'm
okay.
quite sure. Like
And
90%.
but there were more than 24 people going to the Smash
I
World
believe
Tour,
so.
right?
I think
Yeah.
so.
So I wonder if
I mean, maybe
maybe
'cause-
Ludwig going to Phantom might have had a bit of
There could-
favour there with the Australians.
Well, maybe because
or-
also like
I
he's
think they
already
want
in
more-
the country as
more
well.
diversity.
And they want more diversity, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
But
like,
are there many like Europeans?
Yeah,
and-
there's
and-
Gluten.
there's Gluto.
Well, yeah, but he's like top 5 in the
and
world
there's
anyway.
Siskwi.
Oh, okay, yeah,
And those,
Siski's
so
there,
the, those are the two Europeans.
And so then we have an Australian,
yeah.
and then we have
And to be honest, I mean, I know Jadizzle didn't do, and we'll talk about this later, but he didn't do like great at main stage. But other than that, over there, he has been very impressive. He has been performing, in my opinion, like a top 50 player in the world.
Yeah.
Should he be at this event on paper? Like probably not. Like looks like maybe a tier below some of these players. But like he throttled Zomba.
Yeah.
Like I think he like double 2-stocked him or something. Like it was not close. He took a set off Leon as well. Lost 2 sets.
It
took a set.
often also comes down to like, and I think Jono mentioned the same thing that I've said before, where when you're kind of playing an American and you also have to basically learn the matchup on the
At the same
fly.
Yeah.
Then of course you're gonna get rocked. But as soon as I play Kameme's Mega Man and I played Chachashi's Mega Man at a high level,
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's
You're at
very
least
doable.
just playing Kameme. You're not learning about Mega
Yeah.
Man.
Exactly.
As you go.
It's like,
And-
oh,
and
that's
same
a
with
combo.
Jadizzle,
You know, you
with,
don't have
with
to-
Rob.
yeah,
It's like he
yeah.
plays a good Rob all the time,
Yeah.
and he can actually
Yeah, that's what
compete
he
with
said.
the
He's like,
top
he could
player
just
in the
play
world.
Zomba.
So he was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's just kind of like playing like a slightly better Seb or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
which is like a shout out to Seb as well. That's a huge compliment in
Yeah,
and of itself. So that's really
absolutely.
cool. But yeah, look, I mean, I can't not tip Akala, but hopefully Jadizzle. I know he's like labbing a lot with Strix prior to the event, so hopefully there's some sort of crazy upset. It'd be good.
You never
that would
know.
be cool.
That'd be pretty
I
incredible.
think
If he took that out,
insane.
that would be
Even if he wins
yeah.
a game, it would be just
Yeah.
massive, like
Yeah.
a monster.
You'd
But
be
he's
crazy to
yeah, you would not.
against
Shoot on versus Sonics.
Shoot on should win.
Ooh, you reckon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shuton's cracked.
Shoot on is cracked, but every time
I kind of have Sonics.
I think
to be honest.
Sonics. I think Sonics as
Interesting.
well.
Really?
But like,
Is Sonic's the
again,
one that times you out?
Yeah,
he's a
he's a
where's
Sonic
he-
player.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Is he
imagine
from-
Sonic
he's
would
from,
do
like,
pretty
the
well
Domin-
into
Is he from the
Omaha.
Dominican Republic?
Yeah, I think
Yes,
so,
he
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's ridiculous.
He's very,
Like,
very good.
Does he like go to locals in the Dominican Republic,
got
or
no
is he
idea.
like from there but is basically
Ben,
an
normally
American
I'm asking
player,
you
or-
this stuff.
I don't know.
This is your like you know everybody.
Because he has always been there. Like he's at every
Right.
American major. Like no
That's
one
true.
could have the money to do that. So
Right.
I imagine he must live in the US
Probably.
and be in one of the
I mean,
states.
like Zero like moved to America when he was like 15 or something
Yeah,
or 16. It was
yeah.
just like going to New York locals for months. You know.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll go Sonics. Shooton's weird. I watch this guy at majors and he's like in the top 8, and I'm like, oh well, this guy looks like he could absolutely win this tournament, and then he places like 7th, and I'm like, but he looked so fun. He got reverse 3-0'd against Ken Sephiroth. He was up
Right,
2-0, butchering him, and then he just lost.
I mean,
There's
he
an
is
adjustment
crazy
probably.
good.
He's
It's
very
just
good, yeah.
it's just Pyramithra. Like it's like you make one
die
mistake
early, yeah, you
and
can die
you'll
early.
just die at like
get gimped.
like
Well,
20.
playing him in America and
Did you play?
yeah, we were like bunkmates
Oh,
over
wow.
there.
At Congo.
And,
Saga.
for the
No.
Thunder Smash 3.
Oh right.
Yeah, and he was easily the most gapped I've ever felt
Right.
as a like
Ever.
playing him. Yeah, even like when I've been dumpstered in a set or whatever, like or like playing
Sometimes
playing
like,
Samsora or
I could
playing
have just
Yusef.
adjusted that.
Yeah,
Exactly,
if you
yeah.
change one or two things, it could
Yeah,
have gone very
big
differently. But like
difference.
Shuton,
Well, Shuton was a weird one again because I didn't even feel like he was bodying me in terms of like raw results, but just like control of the game,
Yeah.
pacings. Like it just felt like he was just doing everything
He's
better
very
than me.
smothering. He is in
Yeah,
every Smash
yeah.
game. He really controls the game just about as well as anyone.
Yeah,
in
and
the
just
world. Him and, like, Leo.
incredible control over
Yeah,
his character.
Yeah. I mean, kind of convincing me. Maybe I'll go shoot on. I'll stick with Sonic's, but that'll be a
I've
close
probably
set.
like it's
that is a toss up. Yeah,
that's probably like the mid. That might be like the like 11th and 12th seed or whatever,
Yeah,
or 7th and 8th seed in a 16-person bracket.
yeah.
So
And
it
then
could go either way.
We have Spargo, who just won a major against Siskui. Spargo will win this.
Yeah, I got.
Yeah.
I think it's Siske.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, doesn't matter. He's losing.
Yeah, he's done so.
Yeah, I think Siske is very good, but yes,
He is extremely good. I think I watched him like a little while before he got really, really good. And I was mentioning to like Jason Dillon in our Discord, I'm like, dude, this guy's schnutty. And then he's like, oh, he's pretty good. And then like a year later or something, he's just like top 20 in the world. And I was like, right again, I'm telling you, I got the eye test. I'm clean with it.
Something else about Spargo that I like to point out is that he's retroactively like top 10 in Smash 4.
Yeah.
Just because of that
Yeah.
that Smash Con where he like won the Smash 4 bracket or something with Cloud, and you're like, well, obviously if he if he played Cloud in Smash 4 and is as good as he is now, we bestow upon him the title of somewhere in the top 10 Smash 4.
Spargo will win that. That'll be probably a 3-0, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then Onan versus Maya. Or Mia.
Mia.
Game &
So
Watch.
that was
The
a Game &
the
Watch?
Japanese
Yeah.
Game & Watch. Who's
Probably
like
the best player in Japan.
come
at
out
the
of
moment.
nowhere
Really?
and is like, he's like the suddenly the best player in Japan. They have one every couple months.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it
it
feels
like
like
being like Proto's not
Proto
like,
wasn't there
winning
for very long.
anymore.
Okay.
Not winning tournaments, I don't think. So
Right.
I think the last grand finals was Mia versus Yoshidora, which
Okay.
Wow.
Mia won.
Mia won
I
a tournament when he
think in a
came
bracket
to
reset.
America as well. He won.
That's
I
right,
forgot
yes,
it was
yeah.
over.
He beat
Jackal.
Yes.
Jackal
Yeah.
came second.
Okay,
I
so,
thought-
so
It was like
that's,
Mia,
that's
Jackal,
not
DeBuzz.
the best that US has to offer.
Oh,
Jackal.
but
not-
no, but Jackal like
um,
upsetting getting there.
Yeah.
So there were
Right,
stronger
okay.
players who placed lower, and you're like, oh, Jackal made grand final.
I
Yeah.
thought Yoshidora went to America for Smash World Tour.
Mate, there is no Smash World Tour.
Yeah, but is he in America?
No.
Okay.
No, he
No,
cancelled.
he's-
He cancelled his time off. He
Yeah.
had paid time off to come, and he cancelled that because it got cancelled.
Okay. Right.
But he is coming to,
Cancels
I
on
think,
cancels.
Genesis. So finally, I'll be able to watch Yoshidora get
That's right, that
annihilated
counts
by
for
Leo.
It's not happening.
Blaze. How is it? Is it Mia?
Well,
Mia.
the Japanese
Mia.
writing it's like elongated sounds. So it'd be like Mia, but you can just say Mia.
Mia will win this, I think, because it has the
Wait,
experience
who's it?
against
Mia
Akala.
who is it?
Onan.
Onan. Ooh.
I mean, they beat Akala, so I think they should be able to handle Onan. I know it's like not a one-for-one
Yeah, it's not
ratio.
one for
but
one.
Game Watch has all right into
Yeah.
Steve, doesn't he?
if you can beat Akala,
Apparently.
I'm just
Apparently.
gonna
I think
pick her.
I don't know. It's a weird. Like I can kind of see it.
I mean, Akala is like a significantly stronger player than Onan. That's why.
I mean,
he was-
Akala is arguably like the second best player in the world. So,
yeah, I mean, Akala
Yeah,
was like
again,
two stocking.
Either
Onan.
way, but I've got Mia here.
Okay. So that's the first round. Hopefully, JD's will. So okay,
There's a few
here's a
Steves
question.
in there.
A couple cousins as well.
Yeah.
Can J Dizzle, if J Dizzle was going to beat anyone on this list beside Ferps, because I think Ferps is probably a tier below these players, who would he beat? Who is most likely that he would beat?
I'll need to see the list again.
He could beat Gluttony. He plays Bradley a lot.
My gut reaction was like one of the Game & Watches because of the extra practice.
Maybe Meister?
Yeah, maybe Meister.
Maybe
Meister.
Meister.
Yeah, he could beat Meister.
I think Meister. I'd really like to see J Dizzle versus Tweak, to be honest. I'd be very curious to see that.
Very cool.
Did he come first matchup?
Is it? Probably. Young Link apparently beats every character from everyone I talk to.
+2.
Yeah, plus who's the entire cast. It's so weird. Character.
I didn't realize he was number one.
Yeah, it's crazy. But very stacked event. Obviously, like my tip for the whole tournament would be Leo. Can't really not tip him, especially with how dominantly he won Ludwig Invitational. The melee bracket's pretty interesting too. A couple of interesting players over there. I'm just hoping Amsa wins because it's just I don't get sick of seeing it. Every time he wins a major, I'm just like awesome, sick, more.
It's history every
Yeah,
time.
it's so sick, and he just looks capable of doing it every time. Now he's got like first, and third.
Yeah.
I think he's won two of them, got third at one of them.
Like him being like number one, like MPGR, would be like,
Yeah.
be so cool.
It would be so cool. I think Mango's like guaranteed it now, hasn't he? Though.
I don't know.
I think
But I'm
Mango's,
just
Really,
saying-
Mango
I
number
think
one.
Mango's guaranteed
Wow.
now.
That's interesting.
Because they had the last major, whichever major
Mango
that
won
was,
Phantom.
and it was like whoever
wait.
wins this basically.
Oh wait,
is
no,
probably-
IBDW won Phantom. Wait,
that's
no, who
right,
won
yeah.
Phantom? Mango came like third.
Yeah.
What am I talking about? I think
Yeah.
Mango just drank a lot of Phantom.
Oh, but
That's
we
winning.
also
Yeah,
have
good time.
Josh Man,
Mhm.
so another Aussie rep
We have
over there,
some horse in this.
up against Hungry Box round 1.
That's rough.
Tough one.
That's
right.
no good puffs in Australia.
No,
We have a couple that they do.
it's a different.
Pretty-
It's a different.
It's just
beast,
not the same.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have they ever played before? Do you know?
I don't
I
think so.
don't- I have
don't
no
think they
recollection of
played.
them playing
Not
bracket.
not in a
Yeah.
normal set. Yeah.
I'm talking out of my ass.
They were both at
but
like the summit or two,
Mm.
so they would have played like in money matches or friendly or something.
Yeah.
I feel like Josh Man excels in the Fox Ditto. I'm just pulling
Yes,
that. That's
yeah.
what I've watched, and that seems to be the case.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he does against Hungry Box again. You'd obviously tip Hungry Box, but
He sort of reminds me of Jackson a bit, of like
Mm.
where he's really good at like pushing the advantage and the buttons and stuff like that. And then if you force him to slow down, then that's when he
Where
really
you
starts
can
to
encounter some trouble.
yeah.
So,
I wonder what Hungry Box's game plan is.
yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Still, obviously, a very strong player. Though, like
yeah.
top 20 in the world or something on
Really?
the most recent ranking.
That's so insane with how
or
strong that is
close
at the
to.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were actually discussing as well, we're talking about Scuffed World Tour, and I was under the impression that it was going to be like round robin pools, to which I learned that it's not. It's going to be double elimination bracket.
Pretty awful.
For the best.
Well, then we
As
started
it should
talking
be.
about formats,
Mm-hmm.
and we're having little discussions, which I would like to continue here. So, explain to me.
So Ben and I are both anti round robin.
That's
I
right.
think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, can you explain to me what the problem would be with running round robin pools at this event?
At this one,
Yeah, sure.
you would
Scuffed World
have.
Tour.
So I think.
Well,
I think one of the main it leads to lots of. This happened at the
the
but
2GG,
the
whatever
two
it
GG
was,
one's
yeah.
the most like prominent
Tweak-
example.
Tweak was the one who threw a set, wasn't he? Or someone threw a set against
I'd
him?
have to
or-
look it up specifically, but
Yeah.
it's basically like at least because of like it's kind of hard to go into the whole minutia of how it works, but like it leads to all these scenarios where, the outcome of games like, or the outcomes, and like stakes aren't always that clear,
Yeah.
and you can get, like the stakes of different matches like can vary so wildly within a round robin, especially when you have all these high level players of like you like what we were just talking about, like anyone could beat anyone,
Yeah.
sort of.
Like you kind of get to the point when you have most of the matches done in a pool. Say you're saving the top two players will play each other last. That's usually pretty common in round robin. And there might be a fifth seed against a second seed. I'm kind of doing this on the fly, so it might not actually work out quite literally translating. But like, say you have a fifth seed, they got to play the second seed, and the first seed who has to play the second seed, he's already guaranteed top two.
Right.
Like if he loses against the second player, like it does not matter, blah blah blah.
So your primary issue is throwing sets.
Yeah,
Maybe not the primary issue, but
it's an issue.
it's a
with the
major
format.
What are
one.
the other issues?
And well, then there's like
Well, just to finish that point is because of that, you can alter someone else's placement
yes.
by not caring about your set because you've already guaranteed
Sure.
your placement.
Yep.
And then there are just other issues where you can have people literally like lose less sets than other people, and they won't qualify in the top two. So someone who's only lost one set will drop compared to someone who's like,
I don't think that's
Yeah.
possible.
If I may, so we're talking about it being round robin. Do we mean like we're gonna have our results from the round robin, or
Yeah.
do we mean is there gonna be like a bracket after the 16
So
man?
it would-
Typically
round
it's
robin?
So you have round robin pool, and so the like
So
say
we would
two
eliminate
highest
half of
place-
them?
Yeah, so like, some whatever it is, like two highest placing people in the pool, go on to a bracket. That's how we like used to do it, for instance,
Yeah.
in Smash 4 and
Actually-
Brawl and stuff.
sorry to correct my point. That it would need one other person who also only lost one set which can happen, and the result is it's a single elimination bracket instead of a double
I
elimination.
think I would have to see it on paper. I feel like there is no way to be knocked out of the pool with only losing one set.
it's
You would have
can
to. You would
happen.
have to play a tiebreaker.
You would need three people. I think three people who can each lose one set.
That would leave you with a tiebreaker or tiebreakers.
Well, it then depends how you resolve it, because like some people don't like to do rematches, because if you're rematching the set that you've already just won and then you lose after you've just beaten them, then you encounter that problem of like a grand reset where like you're one set apiece, but the person who has won the second set,
but I have no problem
which
with
means
that because
the previous one was moot.
But you've lost 2 sets, so effectively you've been double eliminated. You're out. You've lost more sets.
But it still doesn't...
I do think
but you haven't been eliminated for losing 1 set, though.
The need for a tiebreaker is not like a point in round robin's favor. Like the fact that you often need this like tiebreaker just to make it work.
I think they should just do a 16-man.
But I was also going to say like an issue with
great content.
An issue with round robin is that the stakes are often like they vary so wildly and they're often unclear. So in a double elimination bracket, the stakes of each set are always very clear. If it's in winner's side and you lose, you're going to losers. If you lose in loser's side, then you're out of the tournament. Whereas like round robin, like you for like whether it's to get out of pools or not, it could literally make no difference at all for one of both players or both players. Like they could be both guaranteed out, so then the set they're playing doesn't really matter.
That's true.
And sometimes like the order that the sets are being played in can affect that. Like it's just all this like weird scenarios where like
you could have dead rubbers.
That just keep happening like over and over again.
I think there are a lot of advantages to it.
There are definitely
the overall amount of Smash played between high level players is a certain positive. For sure.
Yes.
So it kind of boils down to what you're trying to achieve, and like, do you really care about like the competitive integrity of it? Really?
Well, I don't think in this scenario. Okay, so we've got like a few pools of like 4 people at this invitational. I don't think these people are going to be throwing games. I don't think Jay Dizzle is going to be like, I'm going to like throw my game to MK Leo. Like he's probably going to lose anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean they threw it at 2GG, so it can happen. Like if someone's already made it through
in a competition
and they're tilted or whatever, blah blah blah. Like you have Zomba or whatever. It's literally running off stage in a set.
To be
and
fair,
you can say like no one would just kill themselves intentionally.
This argument doesn't work because this guy did this in like losers final.
Yeah.
So that actually doesn't. He'll do it anyway. He does in bracket.
That's true.
Exactly, but like you would still say, no one would kill themselves in a bracket because they would lose.
But
I don't think that makes the point you think it makes.
I think the bottom line, or maybe what Ben might be trying to get at, is that it can create a scenario where it incentivizes throwing.
It can,
which is another strike against.
Well, even if like let's say you're like you're maybe if you can gatekeep someone from getting into like your own pool, maybe you've already made it out, and if you lose and they don't make, if you like someone else doesn't make
you want to
you want to avoid that player,
if you're like, I don't want them in the bracket, in the upper bracket at all, because I might lose to them.
And a slight, like I don't know how much this actually works, but a slight idea I had was like if you actually just paid people, especially at an event like this where there's like a lot of money available, you just like pay someone $100 for every set they win, which kind of gives them some incentive to win dead rubbers and to not like gatekeep certain people. That's just like an idea I threw out.
If you do round robin, it probably just works best. The Japanese used to do it. They might still for seeding. So everyone plays round robin, and then that determines the seeding of a fresh double elimination.
That's
bracket.
cool.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea. Yeah, if you have the time for it, if you have like a small invitational,
and that way no one can get screwed over by the intricacies of it.
And actually, you always are incentivized to
you
keep
win
winning.
more, you get a higher seed.
Yeah.
Unless you go really deep into bracketeering,
you can determine like, if I get third instead of fourth, I get layer. Especially if one pool is already.
In this case, Jono would be.
You don't show them any of the results of the other sets at all. They just play only their own sets, and you don't show them results.
That's sort of the level of that you'd have to be doing.
But you see what we're getting at, where there's all these like little caveats and rules.
Well, I mean,
you need to
somewhat it seems to be the case that if there's like a bit of an honor system that is actually used, the system is probably better, provided you have time to do it.
Yeah,
if people
but that
don't,
in and of itself is a flaw of the system.
True,
but if people can kind of do this and
that's always
double
elim
as well. Like there's definitely been scenarios where people have like lost in winners to go to losers to avoid someone or get like a better side of the bracket.
Yeah,
Dr.
but it's
Elf
pretty
would do
much
that.
always harder.
Sandbagging.
It's pretty much like it's always harder to win a tournament from losers side. Like that's more sets you
It's
have
quite
to play.
a disadvantage you're putting yourself
Yeah,
at.
like it's a like. I feel like that's more people rationalizing, their losses. They'd be like, well, if I won that set, I would have just had to play this guy who would have lost to anyway.
It depends on who you are, I guess. I have definitely seen people who are like projected to come like third, and it's like, well, if you lose here, you're going to be in this side of the bracket.
You could be on the other side of the bracket, yeah.
Yeah, where there's like, I don't know, like extra has been upset or something.
Yeah.
Whereas if you lose over here, like you're going to go to losers,
you
but
just bypass
look
that
at this
entirely.
losers run. It's like John Doe. And,
I win that matchup.
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That is a massive gamble, though.
Yeah.
Is
But
it?
as opposed to
somewhat,
just like
somewhat.
trying to win and then like,
I mean, you can always look at the
Yeah.
projected bracket
yeah,
and be like,
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe you
Yeah.
gotta ban that.
ban losing on.
maybe we should ban losing on purpose in round robin as well. It's hard because it's not really, a super convenient way to police that. You can't, even if people are playing their mains, you can't like say that they're playing like their hardest or something.
Yeah.
But certainly I would like to see more round robin events, even like something where there's maybe no money on the line, so people aren't incentivized or something to like have deliberately knock certain players out of the pool or
It
the
is
bracket or something.
It is technically the more accurate
Yeah, right.
determinant of
Yeah.
who is the best player
I mean, this
than a
invitational,
seeded double elimination.
Yeah.
this invitational should just be round robin. They have
I think so.
16 players.
I think
like,
it should be round
But
robin.
like,
Also,
would that,
I don't think these players would like.
That's a lot of
throw
matches.
much.
yeah, and how
Yeah.
do you think that would be a good viewing experience as well?
All of the Smash.
Well,
like
but like each individual set is such low stakes.
because
Because then you're not like well, these two are through to the finals. It's like, well, these two have played this first set
Yeah.
that was played like
you can have
at
the-
9 a.m.
Yeah, you can have the winner
has the same
determined,
stakes as this.
Yeah.
Well, technically not the same stakes.
Yeah.
But
I know
like,
what you mean. Like you
they're
can
low
also
stakes.
have like the winner of the tournament
There's
decided.
no
like, very
build
early,
up toward
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Also, that you
Yeah.
could have the winner decided before it's even over.
which is why like my personal preference is like round robin pools into a bracket. That's
Yeah.
like how my ideal tournament
Yeah,
works.
that was more of a hypothetical.
Yeah, yeah,
like a round robin would technically be
Yeah.
a more accurate determinant.
The biggest problem with round robin, there are two big problems. One is that
I guess it is kind of a hype killer.
it is a
Yeah.
hype killer because
Yeah.
you almost always know the winner a fair way out for any sort of sport or competition or whatever it is. And two is that it takes a long fucking time.
Yeah.
In most sports or games or whatever.
But I mean, the entire argument to begin with was, is round robin blah 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 competitive
Yeah.
integrity? And when you're thinking about it, really,
Yeah.
this in a round robin would be the
You would
best
have
thing. for
to find the
competitive
actual
integrity.
best player. Yeah, it would be. But I do like the idea of possibly doing, if you have the time and you have a small invitational, do it to like make them seed like the event. I think that's a really cool idea. What are you doing?
I'm hugging the slow bro.
It's a slow
Getting-
poke.
he's-
Oh, whatever.
He's slow poke. He's getting smaller
You look very unusual.
for the
No.
view.
Yeah, I gotta say.
It's like it's setting off his like motherly like.
Yeah, it's
He's so soft.
Yeah, he's soft. It's cool. He's so stupid looking.
He is really dumb.
Yeah,
So-
he's so dumb. Slowpoke is probably in favor of round robin brackets.
yeah.
That's a bit rude.
That's like such good propaganda. Are you a slowpoke?
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you like round robin pools?
Yeah.
I'm
So the
curious-
real solution,
yeah.
though, the segue, is the coveted triple elimination bracket.
Okay, yeah, walk me through this because you've been mentioning it all the time, and I don't like know anything about it. So
It's been weeks.
Yep.
So it's what it's now. You know what a
Yeah,
double
I
elimination
know,
bracket
I
is.
get it.
So there's a triple
So
elimination.
why don't we have a
bracket.
quadruple elimination bracket?
That's too long.
Oh,
That's too long.
that's
Okay.
that could go.
So but the problem is, I'm gonna just
Well,
hit you with
Ben-
this straight away. A lot of tournaments run till like 9
Oh, I'm
o'clock
not.
at night.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's not logistically possible. This is more of a thought experiment.
Okay.
Like, yeah, like a double elimination bracket, you lose twice and you're out, and then triple elimination bracket, you lose 3 times and you're out.
How does the bracket?
What the fuck is
How
the
does it
thought
work?
experiment?
How does the bracket work?
It's like a best of 5.
There's winners and losers.
Yeah.
I think I
True.
thought of the
And
term.
there's
What's
It'd be
like
the
the
a-
upper.
third tier?
And
Well, I thought it would be
Giga
dog
losers.
The dog shit
No,
tier.
I like
It's- it would
true
be
loser.
the upper. It's. I've
Total
thought about
loser.
this. There's the upper bracket, the
Yeah.
mid bracket, and the lower bracket.
Okay.
what
That's like less offensive than like,
Less
the very losers bracket or something.
Yeah. Very bad.
You're probably not going to win the tournament
Yeah.
bracket. Yeah.
Yeah. The good
Pot
luck
feeder.
The good luck bracket. Yeah. So
I mean,
you-
we've just established that it's very hard to win a tournament from losers.
Yeah, it's harder to win. Yeah, so it'll be hard to win from the mid bracket. Miraculous to win from the lower bracket.
That'll be hype.
But
Yeah.
it is
That'll be
doable
hype.
because you would have to, like, I don't know. It's so funny to think about, like, because if you're in the very lower bracket, so you've lost twice, you would have to do effective like a little grand finals, but only against the person in the mid bracket who's lost once. So you have to
Yeah.
reset the bracket against them once, and then beat them. So then they're out of the tournament. Then you're in the true grand finals.
True.
Yeah,
Which
and you
is-
have to beat them two
Which
more
is
times.
no,
You have to beat them three.
you have to
three
beat
times.
because whoever's in the
Yeah.
true grand finals who makes it to grand
You
finals
have to
without
knock
even
them into
losing
middle and then
once-
losers.
Yeah,
and then,
you have to
yeah.
you have to triply eliminate them, and whoever else is in true grand finals could have gotten there either through the mid bracket or the lower bracket.
So here's my thought experiment on a thought experiment. Ben, you were complaining to me about how Smash 4 should be 2-stock,
Yeah.
and definitely not 3-stock because playing against like certain candy players for hours on end is like really taxing. Can you imagine? Close your eyes, take it, go with me on this journey. It's like a Friday night Smash.
Triply elim bracket.
Triple elim.
Playing like Shadyu, Ryu.
And
It's
you get to
It's a 2-day event.
what is the first grand final called? So when you're in like the bottom loser bracket, or I guess you're
The lower bracket.
Well, you have grand finals,
Yeah.
grander finals, and grandest
Grandest
You
finals.
have mid grands.
Yeah.
So you get to there, and you're
have
playing against
mid-grands.
Shitashi. He's in the true winner's side. You're in
You
the,
have to beat
This is
him-
a good
you have to
argument
beat
for
him in
2-stock
three
over
sets.
3-stock.
well, it's still going to
That's
take
just-
4 hours,
That's once, yeah.
and you got to triple eliminate him. How do you feel?
Awful.
10 o'clock.
Awful. I'm going home.
That's a lot of beatboxing.
You
You know,
You can take the money. I don't care.
How much money would be required for you to play out those sets?
I'd just get a job. Spend 8 hours there instead.
Imagine doing that. After
So
going to work.
every set goes to game 5.
Oh no, no.
It's
So-
3-stock.
Wait,
Yeah.
so yeah, how long? That'll be like, so normally a grand final can go like 15 game, no, 10 game maximum.
10 game, yeah.
So it could be how many sets? It'll be like
30.
Well, you have- if you have to upset them-
a true grand finals between the person who got there through the upper bracket and the mid bracket.
Yeah.
So
You could lose once,
have
and
like
they could lose
you
2
could have like
times
50
before
wait.
you're both on your last set.
they could lose
4?
how many
You
sets?
drop to the middle, then you drop them to losers, they drop you to losers, and then you have the 4th one, right? Or am I
Yeah.
crazy?
So it'll be
So 20
4
games?
sets.
Yeah, you can have
Yeah.
You could have 20 games.
Yeah.
That's a 1-stock. That's a 1-stock format.
You could have a
1
20
minute,
game
1
grand
stock.
final.
Attila was right all along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Attila is right in the
Yeah.
the triple elim bracket.
I mean,
But it's
when
so fun to try.
when-
I think if you have an invitational,
Oh,
an all-day invitational, but you'd only be at most like 8 people.
So how many sets in a tournament would it be?
that's not.
That would
That's
be-
not. That's honestly, genuinely not.
What would the top 8 look like?
Bunch of
Wait.
campers.
Yeah.
Wait, the top 8 would be like, you'd be like, however many from the upper bracket,
Mm.
how many from lower bracket.
lot of thought into this.
All I know is that grandest
I've
Yeah,
thought,
four-
I've put
four,
thought
two,
into
and
it, but I've
two
never
or
really
something
written
like
it down. Or,
grandest finals is going
We
to
need
take
to
it
put it in
like
TIO
2
price.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks.
do they have a program for that?
I think it's still around.
Yeah.
maybe.
Must be,
As
yeah.
in,
I think Kine was mentioning.
They
As
don't
in
have a
for
triple
a
elim.
triple
No.
elim.
No.
Someone's gonna make
We'll
this.
get Shitashi or
Someone
Ari
needs
to
to
make
patch
one.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it in.
Just use paper brackets.
Because normally,
We can
I
host.
don't want to draw
Have
this.
a-
And then lose it.
What about our brawl tournament we host?
Paper
One
bracket?
one stock triple elim
Oh my
paper bracket.
Yeah, sure. Why
Let's
not?
do it.
Yeah. Maybe next Christmas.
2-minute timer.
Yeah, make business triple elim.
Yeah. Yeah, I could have watched another set of Jix versus
I mean, it would be better
Well,
than
mate,
whatever
yeah.
they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, I've never really understood like Summit, Smash Summit bracket. It's just it's so, I don't know. I never really look at it that hard, but it's always been so confusing. They're like, oh, and if I do this, I'm in this way. Just do a triple elim bracket. You've got all of them there for the whole weekend.
Just
So
go
you've
ham.
you've just disparaged me for like the round robin shit. Now you want to triple elim bracket at Summit.
Yeah.
You're putting me on tilt very early into this podcast.
Well, I'm
gotta say.
half
Well, there's-
joking, but
Yeah,
I'm also very confused by what they're doing already. So
It is confusing.
Well, there's no competitive problems with the format.
I'm curious.
Yeah, no one's
I'm
incentivized to throw
shifting.
games.
I'm fucking shifting from triple elimination.
The stakes are very clear in
Yeah.
each set.
Are there any?
Maybe not in middle bracket.
Fuck me. Are there...
Well, middle bracket you lose, and then you're in the lower bracket, and then if you lose again,
Yeah, I feel like
what if you lose once, then you're just in a normal tournament.
Yeah.
Grandest finals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might get confusing once you get to grand.
Yeah, then it'll get confusing.
It'll be very confusing if you go from the lower bracket and then you win the mid grands, and you're like, well, I've reset someone, and then I beat them. I've won the tournament, and you're like, nope.
No,
have to
you've
beat
still
this.
got 3 more sets.
No, you've got to beat this
Yeah.
guy 3 times, actually. Stupid. Good luck, buddy.
Yeah. Are there any like universal changes you would like to see to Smash tournaments as a whole, or to the formats that would make them better? You think?
Well, I've been sold on triple elim bracket.
I haven't. You know, I actually have not been sold on that. I remain unconvinced. Respectfully.
Before
rule sets and
diving
things?
into that,
Rules or just like tournaments as a whole, in any way you could improve them? Do you think that should be like, sort of universally applied to improve them? So there can be rule sets, there can be sort of even just general maybe behavior or decorum at tournaments or something, whatever that sort of the question means to
Two
you.
things come to mind.
Yeah.
First one is like having, what we say, character before stage.
yeah,
That almost, I don't even understand how it's like a debate.
yeah,
It just seems like a no-brainer, so much better. Like, especially in this game where you can pick like, someone can try to pick FD as a counter pick, and then the other guy just picks Kazuya. There's that.
and you somehow get people both claiming that it buffs counterpicking,
Yeah.
even though,
It's weird that they do that.
and then other people saying, well, now counterpicking is completely useless.
It doesn't.
It's
Yeah,
like,
it
well,
doesn't-
no, you're still getting to play your +3 matchup now. Like, you know, it
You
might not be an auto win stage, but it's still a +3
You
or
still get to
+2,
pick your-
whatever.
yeah, you
like,
still-
it's still
it's-
favourable for you.
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
like you're playing
That's
against
the
Bowser.
entire purpose of it.
You're playing against Bowser and they pick like Fox or
'Cause-
something, but you don't get FD, so it's gone
Yeah.
from like your +3 matchup to like +1,
2.5.
+2. I
Because
don't
for
know.
anyone who's
Yeah.
watching who might not be familiar with the reasoning behind character, because we all know, so, it's kind of broken. You go Lucina Mario or whatever, or like Snake Lucina was even with you with the FNS rule set. You ban FD to get not face, not face Snake or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
and then you would just pick Yoshi's Story, Lucina.
Yeah,
and
it favoured
an
me
auto
as a Snake. Yeah, when we had Yoshi's legal, and
Yeah.
I was like Snake, I'm still Snake Lucina, but like between those characters, in that rule set, Yoshi's not really
Yeah.
a good Snake stage, but it's a good Lucina stage.
Right.
So as soon as they pick, I think this is how I beat like Invisi at like Expangong. He was like, oh, I'll pick Yoshi's against this Snake player, and he's like, I'll go Yoshi's Story. He's like, okay, I'll just Lucina.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's not really.
And the inherent problem with it is it bypasses the ban process, and the ban process
Right.
is there
Yeah. Yep.
to balance the game,
Yeah.
and the rules. So if you're bypassing that process of informed bans against a character that you know you will be playing against,
Right, yep.
and then you
What's
do
the point?
that,
Yeah.
and then someone says, okay, your bans are meaningless now.
Yeah.
I'm playing a different character.
In fact, I'm going
Yeah.
to not only that your band's meaningless, you've actually picked my best stages.
Yeah,
This
you
character.
can-
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
yourself.
yeah, exactly. It has bypassed it and actively disadvantaged
Disadvantages
you on
it.
top of it.
Yeah.
It's a completely broken. Yeah.
Right.
So, and a lot of people don't understand that. I guess.
Well,
when you know
you've
what-
convinced me.
Mm.
Although I didn't have a stance beforehand, but that makes sense to
Yeah.
me. Now,
You didn't have a stance.
I
Surely.
haven't thought about it.
Okay.
I guess
Well, because
if you haven't-
it's
you
only
haven't-
come into it the last couple
yeah,
of years.
and if
Well,
you
I
haven't
was-
like actively played in
Yeah.
tournaments where you're doing sets like that
Yeah.
and
So-
run into people who play multiple
you,
characters,
you wouldn't even think
It
I'm
about
might
it.
not be-
I'm going to
yeah.
throw myself under the bus here. What is the process now? So do you do character
In
first?
Australia?
Or yeah.
Character first every game.
yeah. So in
Okay.
So
Australia,
it's like game one, but every game.
And so you're saying that should be the
yeah.
case.
Yeah.
So in Australia, like it's like, I mean, like properly it would be like a blind pick for first
Yep.
character.
Yep.
Then we do 9 stages, so it's like RPS winner bands 3.
Yeah.
Loser bands 4, then the
Yeah,
winner
yeah.
picks from the
Mhm.
remaining
Yeah.
2. Game 1 happens, the winner says, I'm going to play
Yeah.
this character.
They lock in their character
Then
first, so the loser
says,
can
I'm going to
counterpick
play
character.
this character.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then the winner strikes 3 stages, then the loser picks the stage.
Yeah. So
And
the,
so on
the,
and
the
so
winner
forth
still has
until-
informed bans as
Right.
to the matchup they're playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the
When they're being counterpicked.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
in theory.
Vera, do you have any thoughts on things that would improve tournaments in regards to that question?
I've honestly never really thought about it.
It's a very general question.
It is.
Like some
It is.
tournaments may be implementing.
Yep.
There
Your
has
idea
there
already.
has been a recent one, a change to Queensland events. So I don't know how widespread it is. Have even Smash 4, you would hear about it every now and then. But the setup discount no longer requiring the GameCube adapter to have it, and that putting the onus on the individual. If the GameCube controller is your controller of choice,
You have to
then
bring
you
the
should have a
adapter.
GameCube adapter to bring
Fair.
to the setup.
Fair enough.
Really?
Instead of a pro controller player shouldn't be shelling out $80
Yeah.
for something that they'll
Right.
never use.
Fair enough.
Blah blah blah.
I'd pay that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Plus,
think it's
it's
yeah.
sorry, you go.
I think it's pretty fair.
Yeah.
And like, because it's just gonna, well, like the accessibility of like
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
of like first party third, like GC adapters is like they're too expensive now. So this might actually reduce the cases of like shitty third party adapters like stripping controllers and stuff because
Yeah.
the GameCube
Which
players
should be
if they're
banned. They should be banned.
yeah, first
actually.
off they should be banned like that.
Yeah.
Anything but like maybe there's like okay like third party like
Yeah, the
Mayflash one.
Mayflash,
The
yeah.
Mayflash ones are okay, but like there's ones that actively like
Yeah.
And a big problem that you would often encounter with a setup would have an adapter. A setup wouldn't have an adapter. They go to it, blah blah blah. The GameCube controller person didn't bring their own, so
They'll
they
just
they
take
just
it.
plug it out from the other one and plug it in
Forget
the
it.
other one, and they wouldn't bring it back to the other
Yeah.
setup who it does belong to.
Yeah.
And then
They get
suddenly
shuffled
someone's like,
around.
"Where the hell
Yeah.
is my thing?" They lose it
Yeah.
and they never
So,
see it
that
again.
makes
I've
sense.
I've already
Yeah.
been doing that for a while.
Yeah.
Actually, just bringing my own
Yeah.
That's good.
adapter
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good practice.
with a little keychain on it that lets me know it's mine.
I'm trying to think. I would like after like the first maybe 1 or 2 rounds of bracket, I would like sort of amateur players to be off comms. To be honest,
Yeah,
I know that's like
that's been a
remove
big
some-
problem with Queensland events.
yeah.
Yeah.
That-
Yeah, that's like it's kind of rough because you you feel like a bad guy for wanting that, but
Yeah.
it does improve the quality of the commentary
content,
and
yeah.
the viewing experience.
Yeah.
And it's not like the amateur comms don't get to, com and like improve. They can do that in like winners round
The
1
first
and
couple
2.
rounds, yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
like go
I
for
mean,
it.
honestly, like if someone really cared about getting better, they could just watch a set at home and record themselves talking over it, and then
Something like
listen
that.
back to that
They
as well. Like basically, like set analysis, their own commentary. Like if someone really wanted to take it seriously and do that,
I think it's
they
the problem is
don't
a
need
lot
to
of
be doing
players
it.
at that level like don't know how to
No,
analyze their own game.
no.
Is a problem.
But then that's still going to be if they're commentating a real set real time, then they're still not going to be able
Yeah,
to
yeah.
improve themselves
Yeah.
in that format as well.
I mean, it's not easy.
No, it's not.
I would like that general change to be made. I think there's probably like a time and place for like more amateur players to get on like the comms and stuff and talk about the game. But once you get like into any sort of serious bracket territory, I think that's just got to
It
go.
is, yeah. It is kind of rough when you're
Yeah.
in your like top 8 and you have. Well, like sometimes there are people who aren't that good at the game Sometimes there are people who aren't that good at the game who, are good at commentating. But like when you have someone who's not good at the game who also doesn't know what they're talking about, and then it's like, well, this isn't constructive at all.
Yeah, if you have 2 commentators there, one of them is like a really good sort of play-by-play or something. The other guy's like more analysis and a high-level player. That's
Yeah.
sweet. That's fine. But if you're not like very good at being like entertaining and like, while still talking about the game, don't get on there and beatbox during the middle of a game. IMO.
Yeah.
But if you're really good at like doing that, and then someone else can like sort of talk about the game, like that's fine. But by and large, there has to be someone there with like knowledge of the actual game and like
Helps,
analyzing
yeah.
it. Yeah, I think.
Something I'd like to see changed is stream queuing for sets. Even at FNS or like the Victorian events you see, they might just like, all right, all of top 8, we're doing it in a row. We have plenty of time, blah, blah, blah. Like, even if you have the time for it, you shouldn't always be pushing it to that limit because it just drags on. It's slow for the players. It's slow for the viewership. I think there should be more like, all right, we'll do one set of that round.
Yes.
One set
Yeah.
from losers 7s is on, and then have the other set playing off stream at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Losers semis, so, or losers quarters. Sorry, one set on stream, the other one playing at the same time.
Here's
and
what
you
you can
literally
do as
halve,
well.
halve the time.
Get people into the habit. Just have it like a universal rule, and people have to get into the mindset of doing this save the replays of every game.
Yeah.
And you can always just go and upload them later, especially if you have like an actual, like a smaller community who will talk to each other and interact with each other. Not as easy as you have like a giant major.
Yeah.
But if you have like FNS, you can just record all the games, and someone can just like pretty easily just like upload them later.
Yeah.
Even if it's a
need
week late, and then the content gets saved, because sometimes like amazing sets happen in certain parts of the bracket that are not on stream as well, and that way then you don't have to have this like massive stream queue where every game is fucking played on stream, which makes the shit last really long, but you also don't lose all the content.
You could also just have like a recording setup or something.
You could.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need another full stream. You could just have someone else with a capture card.
Yeah,
And
I
a
mean,
computer.
literally just like save the replay
And,
after
yeah.
you finish it. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's annoying going through the replay.
Yeah, it is a bit, but I mean, it's not like.
You can't guarantee that your tournament entrance will save the replays though.
Well, that's what I said. It's like a mindset thing.
Yeah.
Like just, I'm
It's
not
hard.
saying
It's hard. Yeah. If you get more people to do it and it
becomes
snowballs,
just
then
like
that's good.
then it just becomes habitual. Like our game ends, like click that button, save it.
Yeah.
It takes a second. You know, it's very easy to do. And then because you even think of like locals in like America or Japan or something, how many like high quality players playing certain like niche characters, maybe they don't get as far into the bracket, how much content and like education stuff you're missing out on because they don't.
Because they
play
just
on
press
stream.
the A button.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be something. I think. Hey, good idea from me.
Well done.
I have like two
Yeah.
things, or it's like, kind of like one and a half. Like one thing I really liked about Pissmas was the way it included people who weren't really playing, like with like piss coins. So it's kind
Yeah.
of a vague thing, but like something that helps include people who aren't really, competing. So
Spectators and
Yeah,
people who've already been
and then
eliminated
that ties
stuff
into my
like
other
that.
thing. I really like when there's a nice like comfortable way to view like the stream matches.
Yeah.
So like FNS is great because it's got the
The big
like
TVs.
the viewing area, but it is kind of rough when you have like a pretty big monthly with some of your best players playing and they're just like in a corner somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not like on a
Yeah.
projector or anything like that. It's
Yeah.
kind of hard to like just like kind of. And then
More people need
that
to
would
watch
tie
sets,
that
actually.
would tie into it, like
Crowds.
if the people not playing can like or not even competing like have a better spectating experience. Because imagine if you're there like if you're just someone's partner or something there and you like you're not really interested in competing, but maybe you would like to spectate, or that can be what draws you in, like the spectating experience, but there's not really any way to like comfortably watch it.
Yeah.
So obviously it's something like that can be hard to set up in certain venues, like I have a big like projector somewhere, but like that's always something I appreciate when a tournament has like a good way to watch.
Someone tweeted today, I think maybe yesterday or something. I think it was L saying that getting into like the sort of cultural community mindset of like helping TOs pack up at the end of events,
Oh, yes,
that would
definitely.
make
Big
a
one.
huge
Yeah.
difference.
Yes.
That's like, and that's like,
Turns an hour plus job
Yeah.
into like 5
Well,
10
that was
minutes.
like Pissmas. We were like pretty good with that.
Yeah.
I think like
mean,
everyone picked up, like I said, just pick up one piece of rubbish.
yeah,
Like it was kind of rough. I remember like Sunny Side Up. It was really rough with Sunny. It was probably the worst at Sunny Side Up actually, because a bunch of people went to the after party, and I was like, oh man, I like the good person thing to do is to help pack up. Like the ideal scenario is everyone helps clean up, and then everyone only has to do like one or two things, and everyone can go to the after party.
Yeah.
But like there are all these people who went to the after party straight away because that's when it was scheduled.
yeah,
And then just a handful of TOs, and then a few good Samaritans were left behind, missing out on the after party.
yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember BAM, the latest BAM, whatever number it was. There was an image that was
Bench of-
floating around of
Oh, just the amount of rubbish.
the amount of
Yeah.
rubbish that was like after.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, this is kind of a little touch and go because everyone did basically get like kicked out of the venue. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't think a lot of people intended to leave all of that rubbish there, but there was a
kinda
lot
just
of
got
rubbish
rushed
there.
out, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone kind of got rushed out, and so
Yeah.
people aren't. When someone's yelling at them to get out of the venue,
Yeah,
they're
you're
not
not
They're
thinking.
going to
hey,
get out of the
yeah.
venue.
Yeah, exactly. But it kind of sucks for the tournament organizers to be running around picking up rubbish, but at
Yeah.
the same time,
Yeah.
That's just how it
But
goes.
that
yeah.
is definitely something like if everyone, like at
Yeah,
the
I
end,
mean,
if there-
like-
especially if there's like an after party for a major, if everyone can help pack up, and then everyone goes to go. to the after
I mean,
party.
it sounds like kind of stupid, but it does actually make the community like tighter as well.
Yeah.
Doing that sort of
Yeah.
stuff and just doing everything together. And obviously there are like people who are excluded from this. Like if you have a fucking plane to catch, like okay, you are permitted to leave.
Yeah.
If the last train is leaving from Brisbane, you can go to your
Yeah,
train.
then go.
It's
Yeah,
fine,
obviously. But, yeah.
But by and large, like if just having that in the mindset for people at the end of tournaments, that would I think be a huge benefit.
If that's the default, then
Yeah.
yes, that's a lot better.
Yeah. Something that I wanted to talk about as well, which sort of occurred to me today, is sort of the idea, we talked about it before slightly, but slightly different take, is matchups in Smash Ult specifically. Because I was talking to like Jason Duon, and he was mentioning like, you know, talking about matchups and how his character like loses -2 to this character and whatever. And then you find another player, like a very competent player who mains the same character who's like, oh yeah, we +1 this matchup. And I realized that by and large, like the overall amount of like top players who play one character agreeing roughly on a matchup is like by far the what word do I use here? Like
most disparate.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
largest disparity in any Smash
Yeah.
game it's been. So an example of this is like Smash 4, you might have a character like, let's say, Diddy Bayo or Diddy Sheik, and the biggest swing you'll get in perception of this is like, okay, Diddy's slight advantage, or like the other biggest side of that would be like Sheik's slight advantage. And that's the biggest swing you can have, which is still a pretty small, you know, swing. Whereas some people will be like, this is -2, borderline unwinnable. And then someone else will say, oh, it's like a +1, which is an enormous swing. So I'm curious if you guys have any theories as to why that seems to be so prevalent specifically in this game.
I've got a good theory.
Yeah.
People don't know what they're talking about.
But the thing is, they're all good players. Like people who do this, like they're strong players.
I think if I had to guess, it's probably that whole relativism that usually happens. Well, even in any other game where like a top tier character, they encounter an even matchup. We saw the meme earlier today.
Yeah.
And it's such a struggle. It's like, I'm just really uncomfortable. I do not like that matchup, blah, blah, blah. When if you're playing a bottom tier character and everyone's a +3 or whatever, as soon as it's only a -2 or -1, you're like, yeah, we do pretty well in that matchup, blah, blah, blah. So I think like because every character is so good, and you know, you just and there's so many characters as well, that I think it just totally blurs the lines between everything, and like it's just much harder to really categorize matchups. I think, but
It definitely is kind of like a privilege thing. But then, I don't know, you like get all of these like Rob players who are like, oh, Rob loses 23 matchups. And it's like, no, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
16 of them in like every top 64 or whatever, losing all those matchups.
I'm guessing, like I've sort of my theory, I suppose, would be that people mistake the difficulty of a matchup, or like how bad it is with how comfortable it is to play.
Yeah.
Because like you can have X matchup where it's like, oh, like I just have less options than the character I'm playing against. So it's like hard. It's hard for me to play. They have more options than me. Their moves like work better in this matchup than mine do. But maybe the 2 or 3 moves I have are actually really good. So I don't lose the matchup, but I have to be like stricter and more, what was the word we used earlier today?
Disciplined.
More disciplined. I think that's probably a big part of it.
You have to play differently.
Yeah, you have to
than
play a
they
bit
normally
differently.
would.
Yeah. But I mean, that shouldn't really change in any Smash game. So I don't know why that would be so specifically to Alt. That's why maybe the player base is just bigger, so you have more people with different opinions.
It's probably like my first like initial theory would be like, because there's so many more matchups. Like if you think about like something like Melee with like, let's say 8 to 10 viable characters, like that's so many few, like it's an exponential thing. There's so many fewer matchups, so it's a much more studied game. Like people like really study like really just a handful of matchups, so there's like a greater consensus.
They still get them wrong as well.
They still argue
they still-
about like people still, especially like what like Falco,
Probably
like
Yoshi,
Fox,
Yoshi
Falco
now.
and Marth, like that's a pretty infamous one.
Yeah.
Whereas like any individual matchup you take in Ultimate between like any like pairing, any random pairing you want, like is not going to be as studied as any, and not have as great a consensus like as previous games.
Yeah, I suppose the study is a big aspect of it, but even like you take the example Eric gave of like Rob, there are a lot of high level Rob players.
There are a lot of Robs.
You think they would have like a very accurate understanding,
You'd think,
but they even debate their own. I mean, maybe they don't. They lose every matchup. There's like a lot of
There's consensus. It's just
Yeah.
they're all wrong. Wow, that's crazy.
I just didn't realize Rob was bottom 20. But
Surely there are Rob players that think Rob is good.
yeah,
absolutely.
I'm yet to meet one.
I know that there are.
But
I'm pretty sure Mod thinks Rob is.
Yeah,
Like,
he does, I
broken.
think. But there are a lot of like we'll take
When
the
I-
piss out of like the Rob players, but
So this is an aside, but when I first met Mod, this was after I think I said like I think Rob is the pinnacle, like working man's character, and I told him that and he's like, yeah, he agrees. Well, like if you're a person with like
No
full
time to play
you
the
don't
game.
have time to like practice.
Yeah.
right,
You just need a character that works, and Rob's your man.
it's Rob. Yeah,
Rob's your character. That's
Yeah.
my side, and he agrees. So Mod thinks Rob is good.
it also is kind of fascinating that everyone just thinks their character is bad. Actually, when I say everyone, like 95% of the player
seems-
base
it seems
just thinks
common.
it's very
Yeah.
common that everyone just thinks their character is fucking bad, or at least are just significantly worse than what it probably is.
Yeah.
It's I feel
It's
like
kind of
that's happened in sort of every Smash game, but again, I think it's like more
It's
prominent
kinda-
in this game. Yeah,
I've heard like mixed thoughts about that because I don't like people downplaying their character all the time, but I
Yeah.
also would want people to be honest.
Yeah.
If people honestly think their character is not as good as what people to complain about their characters
Yeah.
like thinks. Like an example is probably like when Riddles talks about Kazuya.
Yeah.
Like when he talks to, I watched this video about it where he's talking about Kazuya's weakness and why he doesn't think he's like a top 5 character or something. He'd be like, oh well, these other top players say they think he's the second best in the game, and he's like, oh man, I wish I was playing the second best in the game. And then he talks like, but he does have an actual discussion about the
That's fair
character's
enough,
weaknesses.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, this character has a very bad disadvantage, that kind of thing. So it
Yeah.
does like, I would rather, I guess I'd still
Yeah.
want people to be
yeah,
honest
yeah.
about
You don't
how
want to
strong.
just be like, my character's
Yeah,
broken.
he's
Like,
broken.
I want your actual opinion. And
He's
to be-
broken.
To be fair, like when you are playing the character and you play all the matchups, you do know the disadvantages and the weaknesses more than
Yeah,
the player.
you'll
who
be
you
aware
just-
of it.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think I've even fallen into this trap, like when I'm playing against K-Roll, because I play Pyramithra.
Yeah,
If I don't space a move correctly, then K-Roll can grab it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then he back throws me and kills me
And
at
you
40.
are,
Like,
you
and
are
it's
very possibly
that
dead off a
feels-
back
it's
throw.
it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
very consistent
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Like if you get grabbed at the ledge at
Yeah.
anywhere above 40, you will die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very likely.
And like when you have such a like threatening option like that, that can make a matchup that's
can
probably
skew it.
like +2
Yeah.
seem way
More
less
like volatile and
+2.
hard, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people probably have like characters like this. Like Rob has like Bayonetta, and so they're like, well, Bayonetta can combo me to like 60 or whatever, so it's a -3 matchup.
Yeah.
When in reality, it's probably losing, but it's probably not -3 because Bayonetta still can't really kill
She
Rob.
can't really kill you. She can't really kill anyone.
Like, I mean, she'll get you to 80,
I
but
wish.
Oh, I mean, it is a definite weakness. I was watching. How did you say the name? Cisco.
Cisco.
I was watching him play against
Lima, probably?
yeah,
Yeah.
a while ago, and just living to 200% every stock. Couldn't kill. It's like only back air is basically the only
It's
consistent.
like back air, jab,
yeah.
edge guarding.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's true. I think as well, like the matchup. We said this before as well,
The
but like the
advantages
matchup
seem
changes. The matchup changes depending on the skill level you are playing it
Yes.
at.
Yeah.
And people don't like account for this enough. So when someone loses, like say some, Harry 0-2er comes and plays against you round 1 and gets dumpstered by your K-Roll, even if you're like around his level, but it's just like he's not good enough to outplay like armor. He's not good enough to deal with like the projectiles or like the setups or like using and
Or
shield
the
or something.
the mistakes that
Yeah.
the top players
Yeah.
don't make.
Yeah.
That
And-
that
yeah.
just will happen.
But at that level, that is the matchup.
That's-
like that.
yeah.
That is the matchup, and that's why we don't talk about matchups in like a perfect like TAS level because
Yeah.
that's useless because we're not going to achieve that anyway. So yeah, I think people should be more prone to doing that. And
That's-
also when we talk about it, like admitting, like if I made a matchup chart, a Yoshi matchup chart, I'd be like, hey guys, this is for my Yoshi level, as opposed to like these are Yoshi's matchups. Period. Like I think more people should probably do that as well.
I think you can also get down to like the weird zoners as well. Like
Yeah.
if you're, I don't know, Yoshi versus Duck Hunt, what's that matchup like? Wouldn't have a clue.
Yoshi would
Well,
probably.
like,
I
yeah,
think Yoshi would win. but
Yoshi
that's
would
just-
probably
that's
win,
just
but like
mental.
It's
who
just
knows?
theorycraft.
Yeah,
You
just
know
total
what I
theory
mean?
in my head, like in the space of 5 seconds. But
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
nobody's ever played against
Yeah.
a Duck Hunt dog.
Well, that's the thing as well. Like if you haven't played
Nobody.
against, like literally no one has ever played just Don't add us. Nobody's ever played against a Duck Hunt.
Can is frame 1. That's all I know about him.
But if you haven't played against also a player of like equivalent skill level to you who like mains that character, then you can't really talk about it.
Yeah.
AKA Tweak, who's like, oh, Diddy's way better than Ice Climbers. Diddy probably beats Ice Climbers +2 and then goes and loses to Big D convincingly when he runs into a very competent Ice Climbers player.
Probably not +2
Yeah.
then.
Probably not, definitely not +2.
Well, it might. Well, then it's hard to tell because it's not like a
Yeah.
full knowledge.
Well, yeah, he's like,
It's not full knowledge on both
you're
sides.
right, you're right. It's like the first time he's played against, that's what we're talking about, like a competent high-level Ice Climbers. From eye test, there's no way Diddy +2.
That might be
There's no way.
another big difference between like ultimate and melee.
Yeah.
Like melee top level, it's like it's pretty full knowledge of the matchup, very studied both sides, except maybe like Yoshi's still weird.
Yeah.
Whereas ultimate, like even at the very highest level, you're gonna run into matchups where people aren't really that familiar.
Yeah.
I mean, like Diddy versus Ice Climbers as an example. You can even like look at this on paper. Like, what does Diddy Kong have to separate Ice
Side B.
Climbers? Side B.
Side B.
It's
Banana.
basically just
Two
side B,
bananas.
right?
Or you can banana. Look, we know this because we live in Queensland.
We probably have the highest level of this.
we
matchup
have,
in
yeah,
probably the world.
we've got an,
Yeah.
we've got an exemplar.
Unless whoever's in Big D's area plays like has a very good Diddy as well. But yeah.
Yeah, can't think of any Canadian ditties. I'm afraid.
No.
So, what do you think? How do you work out matchups in your head, Finn, and determine?
If I were to like make a matchup chart,
well, no, if you're determining who wins a matchup, what do you look for?
I think we talked about this. I
Was
think
that
it was
with
like,
you?
it was like how
I know I
it
talked
was
about
like
it
how
with
many
Ben.
mistakes are you allowed to make?
Yeah.
I think that was the consensus.
consensus. Pretty good consensus,
It was
I'd
sort of
say.
like how many mistakes are you allowed to
Yeah.
make, and then like
That's hard. I mean, that's
how hard is it to win neutral?
yeah.
How consistently can you win neutral? How much can they get off a
weird
punish?
it doesn't even like fully work because, like against Ice Climbers, even Meta Knight and Brawl against Ice Climbers, you can make only one mistake because you'll get grabbed and die.
Yeah.
But Meta
But then
Knight
you
probably
you'd
still
still
wins the
let's say
matchup.
MK wins, so it's very
Yeah,
context dependent.
it is,
You
it's
almost don't
hard,
want to make
right?
these rules
Yeah.
like that because there'd be so many exceptions.
I would like to get like every top player's like opinion on that. Like, how do you determine in your own head who wins a matchup?
Probably do it case by case.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting because I think also a lot of people have no idea what they even look for.
Sometimes
like,
it's just a feeling.
yeah, and like a sort of a very
Every set of characters has a completely unique
Yeah.
way that their kits interact with each other.
Yeah.
That's
you
true.
know.
Like when I'm looking at my characters, I would be like, how well can this character hit me out of shield, and how well can this character kill me if I'm off stage? And these would be like the two major things for my character. Whether it's like, is it even? Is it? Am I winning? Am I losing? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And of all the characters you guys have played in all the Smash games you've played, which character of yours did you underrate the most?
Personally.
Cloud.
It might be Cloud. It might be Cloud. What would you have him like 7th? Yeah. That's feral. That's so
Did I
His
underrate
power
yeah,
shield, bro.
yeah. And you have
that I didn't think was good?
Well,
It
the
turned out
sort
to
of
be
the
good.
trick here is you have to pick someone. So the character, like you have to have an answer. So you have to pick the one that you underrated the most, whoever that is. So is just better than you perceived, and you must answer.
I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe Kazuya off the top of my head.
But you don't play Kazuya, right?
Wait, I mean, are you
want someone you've
that,
played.
oh,
Yeah,
that
you-
I
yeah, that you
used.
played,
I thought you
yeah.
meant played against.
No.
Oh, that I played that
Who's yours?
I underrate.
Is it Aegis?
Can I say Smash 4 Zelda? She was second last on the tier list. She should have been last.
That's not being a swing for me. I think that's a cop-out answer.
I was kind of joking.
I know.
I'm just on my own character.
Maybe Ultimate Zelda though. I think that character's a lot better than what I originally thought it was.
Okay. Why?
Phantom's kind of broken. Although they did buff it, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So maybe this is all just.
I think like Brawl Meta Knight for me, because I don't doubt that he's the outright best character in the game for sure. But I have always said like I think he loses neutral to like 5 characters in the game, and then I don't know. Everyone seems to disagree with me, and the character is like very very broken. So I'm probably wrong. Like he's probably bigger by a larger
So in that
margin than what I've
instance,
said.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think because I feel like I'm the opposite.
You
Where
usually say
I
yours are quite
I
good.
think if I play a
Overrate
character,
them?
normally because
Yeah.
I don't know when I start like I guess like I started out playing Robin in Smash 4, so I'm like used to
You
playing.
can only get up.
I'm used to like
Yeah,
the mid playing like a mid lower tier
Yeah, you know
character,
what I
understanding
genuinely-
a character with like real weaknesses that hold them back, and then playing a good character afterwards, and then thinking this character is good.
If you could make like a perfect plan on how to become good at the game, I would say when you're like so let's say you're first entering tournament, so you're going to your first tournament. What is your plan and itinerary to become a good player? I would say pick up a mid or high low tier character, and play with that character for a while. That would actually be I think would be my formula for improving.
There's lessons you can learn from that, but I remember Ghost saying something about how like you can kind of you then like get used to not having options in situations. I guess it's kind of hard to explain, but then like if you then play a good character who has options and you don't understand how to use them.
Yep, that's true.
But there's on the other hand, it's kind of like I think playing Robin in Smash 4 helped me like really get a handle of like being in disadvantage and handling disadvantage, and that's carried over to me like playing Snake. I think because like Snake still has like an abusable disadvantage, but I think I'm pretty good at like handling that.
A lot of the top tiers are kind of suffering from success in that regard. They don't have too many weaknesses, and it
So you don't learn how to manage.
You never learn how to mitigate weaknesses.
Well, I wouldn't say like keep playing the low tier. But I would like play it and actually learn it. And
learn how to work with their weaknesses.
It will get rid of bad habits, I think, for the most part. Like you will stop like doing things like doing the same disadvantage option every time. And you will learn how to like here's what you actually learn. You learn to bypass or get like to win neutral through like only movement. Because a lot of
you don't have a neutral win button.
So you actually have to like move. You have to move.
That's true.
Yeah, top tiers can move, and good players like top tiers will move, but a lot of them have like a sort of if not an outright like win neutral, like a flip, like a coin flip neutral exchange.
This will beat people who don't understand how to deal with it.
Well, like
Method dash attack.
Diddy in Smash in alt like just jump in neutral side B is like you very likely
if the other guy doesn't understand how to deal with it.
You could just win that exchange, and like low tiers usually don't have this, and you must use to play them well. You must use like you have to think more usually. So I would say like that would be some of my advice.
I think mine would be similar. Maybe more just like I guess there's like characters in my mind that I'd be like, this is a good character to learn the game.
Yeah. Because
they're fundamentally sound. They might be a good character. Like Lucina comes to mind. Like where, like you don't. She's got like a lot of good buttons, but I don't know. I don't feel like she's an auto win neutral against like lesser players.
I wouldn't suggest some character has like very consistently is hitting like 0 to 80 combos.
Yeah.
But Lucina's one of those things that's like, I'll wait for the air dodge.
Yeah.
Which is like fundamentally good Smash to learn and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is like, if you're falling on her,
have to be
the situation is great for her.
Yeah.
But you have to play it right.
You have to
actually keep winning.
You've got to get that position first.
So that's good. Lucina would be a sort of the character like that. I think that's a good pick. Any other advice you would give anyone if they were like attending their first tournament and you could plan out like 2 years of how they could become a top player? What sort of stuff would you recommend they do?
I think people should ask for friendlies more.
Yeah.
They should get hit up top players and go around for their place more, rather than
Joz was talking about that.
Yeah.
Just like spam, invite people and go to their house and stuff if that's possible.
I guess it depends on like the different levels of like competency. So if they're first starting out, they might not even really understand their moves.
Yeah.
They're not playing with intentionality. Yeah. So
that sounds like a word for sure.
Yeah. There's a word, I think it's intentionality, where they don't really understand, like, you need to understand each move you have and the purpose of each one. So then you're playing with like purpose, like you reach that point. Then you've got to like learn about the game.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I think like probably at the same time you've got to like master like your control of the game. So you want people to be able to like realize the thoughts in their head on the screen. Not that hard to do in Ultimate most of the time, but like you want them to be able to do that consistently with like fast falls and and things like, and whatever character relevant techniques they have.
Mastering like tilt would be a big thing. I don't know how you go about fully doing that, but
mentality is such a big one.
I think
Exposure.
I'm surprised. I think people have gotten worse at that since like Brawl and Smash 4. I think that gets almost worse. Like the mentality of players gets almost worse by and large each game. Not always. There are some players who have great mentals and But by and large, as a community, I think
I feel
most
like in
people...
Brawl, you can't have a bad mentality. Otherwise, you will just crumble. Like you can't go anywhere in that game.
Yeah.
You know, if
Yeah,
the mental
If you don't-
fortitude
you
is
don't have
so
a mind of
important.
steel.
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, although I don't know if I'd be saying that kind of thing to someone who's like new to the game. They're like, "How do I get good?" I'm like, "Steal your mind." prepare. Like you need to have.
You are weak, Grasshopper.
Yeah.
I think
I'd vote like it depends on where they're at, but I normally just tell them to like play the game a lot and then try and learn about the game,
Yeah.
and then start
Ask
getting
for
into like
advice and
getting into like matchup analysis and VOD review.
I think learning your outer shield stuff is like super important.
Learning
Yeah.
learning it, having
Outer
knowledge
shield
about the
frame
game.
data.
Yeah,
You
Like,
actually-
get on ultimate frame data. Sometimes just a bit of homework, bit of study there. Can
It will
save you
be
in a match.
Nair, up smash, or up B. Those are your 3 options in this game.
Probably one of those.
It will be one of those. And yeah, you should figure out which one it is and which moves you can punish.
Yep.
If you're playing against Yoshi, it's none of them.
We also need to know which ones characters were low profile, because that's like, oh, this is my fastest move,
Yeah.
but it doesn't hit anyone
Won't
because
hit
they
'em,
all
yeah.
they all crouch on landing.
Yeah, like
Which
Greninja
is-
back air
which is
and
a
stuff
real
like that.
problem in this game actually, because actually every character does it, and some more egregiously than others, but everyone lands and squashes.
I think
Which
for the
is-
most part, the characters that squash when they're landing don't have enough lag on their move for it to
They
be
actually
punishable.
all squash. Every fucking character squashes. It's really gross. If you watch, they all do it.
They do.
You
They-
like
it's the
you'll
principles
short
of
hop
animation.
Nair
They
out of
squash
it,
and they stretch.
and it will just you will just miss every time. It's so fucking annoying.
I always remember in Smash 4 Lucario using down smash.
Yeah.
And you know how he does that
Yeah,
hand thing?
Yeah.
And if you watch this frame by frame, his hands go out like this and then they expand like really
Do
big
they?
to like
Yeah.
volleyball
Yeah.
size.
Very strange.
These are just principles of animation. When they probably like if they do the move without making his hands look bigger, then it doesn't look as impactful.
Doesn't
Yeah.
look as sick.
That's like
Yeah,
all of Wario's hands going
Yeah.
huge in every move.
What is the
and-
most egregious animation in the entire Smash series? For whatever reason.
There's a really funny one I like to do with Snake where if you land with an up air and then try to crouch immediately after, the game like does. I think it has some weird like programming thing where
Like
the game like
interpolating
it has like
frames,
interpolating frames, but he just like flips over from being on his back or being like upside down to being prone on the ground within like 5 frames.
Yeah.
It's really silly looking.
Yeah.
So that's the first one that comes to mind.
I mean,
And I'd be in training mode, like being like, okay, I have to figure out how to deal with ice climbers. And Snake's flipping. Snake's flipping.
They might have a top level Smash player for you.
Yeah.
Snake up tilt is also pretty bad. The way he
Yeah.
kind of contorts his body and
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
like his head's like down here and his legs all the way up there.
Yeah, it's like
completely
I think it's
impossible.
kind of cool now. I don't know after seeing it so much, but yeah, it's not.
I'm trying to think of one.
This is an old discussion of like can people up tilt in real life?
No.
And I tried it once.
Not Snake up tilt.
No, absolutely not. Snake up tilt, trust.
I mean, if so, like people can do the splits. I do not doubt that a human is capable of doing it.
I think you probably can't do it. As in like anyone. I think the way his leg moves is like not possible for a human. But fact check. Because I'm not sure.
This.
But I've looked at it. I remember looking at it like years ago and being like,
Tag your gymnast friends.
that's physically not possible.
Yeah.
Because
I
it, like,
mean-
it like goes in and
It's really
So
weird.
his leg is
Yeah.
like all the way up here.
Yeah, yeah.
He's standing on his other leg, and his actual like body and torso isn't. It's not like straight out, right? And the legs are up here. He's actually down and curled
Yeah.
like that, right?
yeah.
yeah, the
So
rest of his body just kind of moves aside
his-
for
his-
his legs.
His spine would literally be like this.
Yeah.
So no.
Not happening.
A lot of forward smashes come to mind for this because all the forward smashes that like lean back and that I think
yeah.
unintentionally
Mario.
dodge moves.
Yeah.
It's like I use a move and I'm like, maybe you're a monster. Maybe I've used your forward smash knowing that I'll whiff my air on, then you'll forward smash me. You're too
That's
good.
pretty fortunate.
But I'm like, I don't think so.
That was like the
think you're-
Charizard
I
back
think
air
you're
dodging your
dodge-
forward
yeah,
air
dude.
and then killing
That
you
was-
at 60.
That was so annoying. That was awful. I'm just like, yeah, that's just, I mean, if you talk about luck
Yeah.
in Smash, that's just luck.
Yeah,
Like, you
in
didn't do
theory,
that.
yeah. I guess in
Yeah.
theory, like hurt box shifting is
Yeah,
kind of
that's-
cool, like big brain. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, you did this move, but in the reality, most of the time it's just
Sometimes,
fortunate.
sometimes if I hit his shield here on this landing, I will squash, and they can't get out of shield.
I guess
behind
it's
and hit
more,
it,
yeah,
but,
it might be more like hedging your bets.
Yeah.
Kind of like, well, it's safer because I lean back like this.
Yeah,
When you do it, it's micro spacing. When they do it, it's luck.
Yeah.
that's correct. How did you know that?
Because I am a Super Smash Brothers player.
I mean, there's some like deliberate ones. Like I remember watching this thing about like Cloud's up air has like a noticeable like hurt box shift frame 1.
Really?
So you can use that to escape like otherwise true combo strings.
K rules up air is the same. Right, I would smash up air when I'm getting comboed,
Yeah.
try and squish under
Yeah,
them and then hit them.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Diddy had a few with up air because he would like roll over, kick his legs up, and he would sort of duck a bit, and you
Yeah.
could fall out of stuff or hit things. which was
Maybe
cool.
Snake has that because of down tilt
Maybe.
on the ground.
It was always
Yeah,
funny with
yeah.
taunts as well, like
Yeah.
having Mario do the jump flip
Yeah.
and get
Yeah.
projectile go underneath, or doing it with puff.
Or have you seen that one
deflating.
in like Melee Yoshi when he does his taunt? Like and he's like jumping towards the
Oh,
camera.
yeah,
Samus's
yeah.
missiles just go past his head
Yeah.
because he's just leaning in.
I've seen King Dedede jump over projectiles and stuff with up tilt.
Yeah.
I feel like Diddy had
Awful move.
some weird ones in like Brawl or Smash
He
4
had,
or
um,
something.
High
He had-
profiling. Is,
He had his spot dodge, which
Yeah, I
was
mean-
like
Yeah.
That's just like numbers.
The one
not really
frame
animation
foot.
itself, but yeah.
well, it's like isn't it like a combination of both?
I
Because he's in the
suppose.
Z-axis.
Yeah.
It's like the
Yeah.
spot dodge is like already good, but the frames where it would otherwise be vulnerable, he's in the Z-axis,
Yeah.
which is rad.
Also, we're going to do this. We wrote down this little thing to do in today's episode, which was top 5 of our, bottom 5 of our most hated Pokemon designs across 9 generations of Pokemon. Because if you haven't heard, Ash Ketchum is retiring. Spoilers. He's done, and it took him 25 years.
He's still
He's
10
still
though.
10.
he's still 10. It kind of reminds me of like the conversation we had with, who was it? Connor, about like how long do you have to play the tournament before you like win? It took Ash Ketchum 25 years
it did take him 25 years.
to win the tournament. So he was almost in the time loop forever, but he got out. But
Good for him.
Yeah. So moving on to most hated, like 5 worst designs. Now this can be, I'll clarify, this can be like you think the design is just fucking lazy or actually just like painful to look at, because these are different things. Like boring and just a nothing Pokemon is one thing, and you just might hate it for that reason. Or like that is offensive to my
Yeah.
like that is really not good. I can't look at that. And Finn didn't want to play because he's like, guys are so negative.
Well, I couldn't-
Jaded perspective.
I couldn't like think of any that like I don't know. Like I said, if there's a Pokemon design I don't like it's normally among hundreds of others. So
Well,
I just move
it doesn't
on.
keep me up at night, Finn. But I can
making it sound
definitely
like it
make
does.
it. Well, it doesn't. But I can make a list of them. You won't find any
yeah, I
there.
won't find it
any
there.
on
I'm
the
looking
because
at the
they're all
Gen
goated.
1 board.
Oh,
They're
you
all
get
pretty
rid of
good.
Seal.
Some of these
No one
Pokemon,
does.
some of these Pokemon might keep me up at night.
Absolutely not.
Not these ones.
They're all too good.
I mean, just in general.
Well, do you guys have your top 5? I asked you to write one.
I did.
I got mine down. You do.
Yeah.
Fire
Okay,
away.
let's-
All right, take.
Fire away.
Yep.
A Alolan Doug Trio.
Fair. Just a direct. So
We have it-
You want to give us
Nah,
a brief,
he's funny.
Yeah.
brief explanation?
We've
of
realized
why?
Ben and I have different ways, a very different view of the world.
So
Yeah.
Ben and
Sometimes.
Finn are just like, lol, that's funny.
Yeah,
and
if
so
it-
they're
what-
like, that's a
I
great
think, yeah.
design.
He's so stupid.
We're okay with things being like bad or stupid if they're funny.
Yep.
This thing
That's
just
how
has
it is.
hair.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny.
It just has
Good.
hair.
Yeah.
So that's awful
Yeah,
and
it's-
needs to not be here.
I agree.
He brushes hair.
I've got a very vanilla take here with Vanillux.
Yep.
So the ice cream Pokemon.
So just lazy, boring, or what?
yeah,
Yeah, it's not that
it's kind of
interesting.
it's kind of
I'd
lazy.
pay that one.
Yeah.
It's not really funny either.
No.
It's just
This
What's
is Blair.
actually interesting is that this is one of like the first Western designed Pokemon.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
It's typical Americans.
Yeah.
The first thing they design is ice cream.
Yeah.
I've got Unknown.
Okay.
Really?
I
Yeah.
think Unknown is pretty
They
cool.
both like that.
I like
These
that.
two actually.
Yeah.
You and I are vibing, but
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just letters.
It's the alphabet.
Sure.
And some extra special symbols.
yeah, like exclamation point.
Yeah, it's cool.
it's
Wow.
a line.
Well done.
You can make a
Amazing.
sentence out of them. It's like the alphabet cereal.
Imagine being like, what letters just like not used in English? It's like fucking X. You just never use X. Imagine being
Well-
like the X unknown. You're just useless.
Well, they're all
Zed.
useless.
Why?
They-
Aren't they all really bad? Like they.
Well, I
can't-
mean,
don't they-
they're all
they have
useless
no
in like
stats, they only
competitive
learn
battling, but
one
even in
move.
life, it's like, what are you going to use
Wait,
X
what-
unknown for?
Signage.
Are they in any of the new games? Because they got rid of hidden power.
I don't know.
Well, they mustn't be in any of the new games then. Good.
What's number 4?
That's a shame.
Love Disc.
I like
Oh,
that.
it's not that bad.
It's
It's
Yeah.
just a love heart shaped.
it's-
I agree with
It's
Eric.
useless.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
Love
Completely.
I think
It's,
fine.
It's better than a Lola or whatever it is.
I like,
Well,
yeah, I don't like
that
Love
should have
Disc.
just been its evolution. I would like
That's-
it
yeah,
more
I
if
mean, it
it
should have been.
was
Agreed.
its
Yeah.
evolution.
Yeah.
Like, this thing is so useless. It's running around with like a 330
Who
base
the fuck
stat
cares
total.
about the stats?
Nah.
I do. I do.
Okay.
I care. Well, because
It's part of
It's all
boring.
part, it's
Yeah.
part of it.
not only is it boring,
Different criteria.
but I can't even use it in battle. Its only usable stat is speed, which accounts for like
Because
a
it's-
third of its base
here's the
stat
value it
total.
has. If you win a battle with it, then you're like, Pokemon's dog shit competitively, design's awful, and you lost to it. And so you
The-
just rub that in.
I like
it's
Relicanth
playing
so
on
much,
actually.
low tier in Smash.
But then he's
You don't like Relicanth.
then he's the Love Disc guy.
Yeah.
No, I like Relicanth.
You don't want.
Wait, Relicanth is the...
The rock
stonefish
fish
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's
It's
cool.
based on the actual
I thought...
Fish.
Yeah, the
of
the
a similar name
coelacanth.
that I can't think of.
Coelacanth, isn't it? Or
I think so.
where they like found them in Thailand or something, or Philippines somewhere, and just like sold literally everywhere, like every day of the week. Doesn't even taste
Yeah.
nice, and they thought it was extinct for like 200 million
God.
years. before
They're
that.
fun.
Yeah.
All right, my last Pokemon is Bruxfish. This thing is disgusting.
Oh, it is gross.
Brock.
Yeah.
What is
it's
it?
it's
What is
like
that?
this.
Is that one
it's
of the
like
new
It's
ones?
the fish with the gigantic lips.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this was also a Western design
Oh,
Pokemon.
It's
I-
bad.
Is it the one that kind of looks like a Kirby enemy?
Maybe?
It kind of looks like the subspace mystery enemy
Yeah.
that like
Yeah.
grabs you and
It is
starts
a-
kissing
it's a
you.
Bad,
It's
it is a bad Pokemon.
completely vile
Yeah.
and disgusting.
Oh, that thing. No, I don't like
it's
it.
And it's
someone's,
bright pink.
it's someone's favorite. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
Not good.
Oh, yeah.
Some poor deluded sap. It's their favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, top 5 worst subspace emissary.
Dude, that's
designs.
good content. All right, I'll go through mine. I don't know how to say most of these names. Goldenego, Golden Go.
Is that the surfing dude?
That's the cheese guy.
Yeah, the cheese guy.
So
yeah.
this is that new, you know the Pokemon, right?
The Gimmighoul.
Yeah, the Gimmighoul
Evolution.
evolution. So this thing looks like, you know, the cheese strips, the stick.
Yeah.
He looks like the logo of that. and Gimmighoul is a sick Pokemon. Little guy in a little chest. He's so cute. You're like, oh, what's he gonna do? He's
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm looking for it.
And then
so
he's a
sick.
fucking yellow, like golden banana or something. It is so bad. And it is the real kicker here is that
Is this the second time you've ranted it? I feel like you've...
Yeah,
Maybe.
we talked about it earlier.
the
today.
real kicker is that the pre-evolution of it is so great. That's why it's like really
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Because if it was just a standalone,
That is upsetting.
stupid thing, you'd be like, okay, well, you suck. But to have like, you know, such a cool Pokemon evolve into that, hey,
I don't
is
really give it
weird.
a pass, but I use
Yeah, I
it.
don't think I like it
it's
either.
like broken.
It's
it's
really broken.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like immune to status effects, and it's got like a 120 base power move that hits both opponents in double battles. Really broken.
I don't know how the fuck
And
to say
Gimmighoul
this
looks
name.
cool. No, I
Yeah,
feel you on this one.
Quackquaval? What is this? Like, how do you say this?
Yeah.
The
The
stupid.
water-
Everyone,
duck.
everyone's
The
like,
Quack's
everyone's like,
awful.
it's dancing Blaziken, and I'm like, that's awful. I don't want Blaziken to dance, and it doesn't look anything like Blaziken anyway. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It has like its face is just like doesn't have one. It just I find this Pokemon like
Yeah,
repulsive.
Pokemon need a face.
Yeah, Pokemon need a face. Otherwise, it's like, what are you? You know,
Yeah.
like creepy guy.
Oricorio dances.
Yeah, I'm not like Pokemon can dance, but I think this thing just looks fucking stupid.
I guess.
Like
Ludicolo.
yeah, like
Ludicolo
I have no
also
problem with
dances.
dancing
Well,
Pokemon. like-
Ludicolo is an all-time
Yeah.
classic. I love
Does
it.
anyone dislike that Pokemon? Rhyperior, because
Yeah, it's
Rhyperior just
disgusting.
that just ruins Rhydon's. It's the same thing as the first one I mentioned.
Yeah,
Like just
it's not
ruins an
great.
amazing line, and just he's just like a beer gut, just gets fat and brown like shit. Whereas who's this awesome fucking dinosaur-looking thing? Whatever. Ice Cube, Iscue, whatever the fuck it's called. Stupid
Oh my goodness,
penguin.
I forgot about that Pokemon. That's probably
My all-time most hated
See,
Pokemon.
this is where Ben and I
Yeah,
differ. We're like,
he's
it's
a
funny.
dude.
Funny guy.
Ice
Dude,
Cube's probably on over Love Disc.
But have you
Really?
thought of it this way, Eric? He's a penguin with an ice block on his head. That's funny, guys.
Well,
so
like
bad.
we
bad.
wouldn't be like it's. I think we just go, that's kind of stupid.
And then the
move
Ice
on.
Cube disappears.
Yeah, it has
Yeah,
two
there it
forms.
is.
It has
That's
its ice
It's
face. and
actually
its
repulsive.
No ice face.
I don't like the no ice face.
Yeah,
one.
and what happened to they need to have a face? It doesn't have a fucking face, Ben.
Actually, now that I look at it, it's not great.
I like.
Is it not great? And then
That's
That's
finally,
what I think. I think.
They need to get rid of the stray hair on the top of his head.
and number 5, Arctosalt, because it is physically offensive to me.
What's that?
These are
I
these
don't
new
know.
ones.
I couldn't tell you what it is.
How do you spell that?
ARCTO Zolt.
I have like less of a problem with this because it's the lore is that
Oh, that's one of those like
Yeah,
spliced up.
Yeah.
the lore is that they're supposed to be like
ugly.
swapped.
Yeah.
What is
Right,
that? Is
but-
that in the most recent game?
No, it's the
It's
Sword
in
and
other
Sword
one.
and Shield.
So Era's right. That like the
Yeah.
the lore of this is like it's supposed to be fucked
At
up.
least,
'cause
at
it's
least
like
they're
two
bad on purpose.
Yeah, but I'm like, I don't
Not
want to
good
look.
enough.
Don't want to look at
Yeah.
it.
If that doesn't
Yeah.
do it for
And
you,
I
I understand.
I feel like you could make like weird fusion Pokemon look somewhat cool still. But
Yeah.
I'm like, that's just gross. Actually, that's just actually just like feral.
Oh,
I
I
don't
see.
wanna
Yeah,
look
so
at
there's
it.
Dracozolt, Arctozolt, Dracovish,
And
I
make
get you.
no mistake, they are all repulsive.
I feel like one of the Pokedex entries about one of them is like, oh, it's in excruciating pain,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
every
They're
day.
in pain. They don't like themselves even.
Yeah, just whispers like, "Kill me! I'm a crime against humanity in Pokemon, please."
Yeah, they're all affronts to God.
I'm gonna go to hell. I'm not supposed to be this way. You know what they're fucking like? They're like the toys in Toy Story. The
yeah.
They're Sid put together.
the
Yeah.
little baby like on the spider.
know.
It's
Yeah.
like, kill me.
I used to at least appreciate them going for a different angle.
Yeah.
Like, when you're up to Generation 8,
Yeah,
like, you've
I
got
will-
to...
I will give props
you've got
to the
throw,
originality.
Throw things at the
I can
wall.
understand why people
Yeah.
think they're disgusting.
Yeah,
though.
I understand. Like, it's supposed to be gross, and there is some like creativity to it. So, but I can't look at it.
But yeah, like you
But I
appreciate
vomited.
experimentation, but if the end result is still that, then yeah.
Stop experimenting.
Yeah.
Now, did either of you two make your? Or can you name any of your worst Pokemon?
No definitive list.
Love
I don't really know Gen
Well, I
8
think it's
or
normally
9
like
at all,
just like
but-
forgettable ones.
That's
Yeah.
fine. No Gen 8, 9, you
It
still
might
got
just,
7
it
other
might just,
generations
yeah,
to
like
work
these
with.
bad ones, at least they leave an impact. I think it's mostly the ones I just
7
forget about.
generations, including the entirety of Gen 5.
A few that did stick out to me, like I didn't like a couple Gen 5 designs. Can't even think of them. Like the Diminotan I think was one that was brought up earlier
Yeah,
today.
he's gross.
A couple of the like the bug
Respectful.
Pokemon as well.
The what
The
Pokemon?
there are a few bug type Pokemon
Oh,
that
yeah.
people thought were cool. I was
What,
like,
in Gen
didn't-
5?
Yeah, it didn't.
Gen 5 is like the cool bug type.
Yeah,
Is that,
I don't know.
is that
it
the gem with
didn't-
Cricketune or whatever the fuck it's called?
No, that's
No, it's
Gen
Gen
4.
That
No,
Pokemon
it's
sucks.
Gen 5.
Is it
no.
Ventipede or something like
No,
that?
Gen, yeah, let's
Venipede.
Venipede, the purple one.
Yeah,
I like that thing.
Yeah, I didn't like it that
Gen
much.
5, yeah, Gen 5 has
Dude, these guys don't get.
Scolipede.
They're just so placid on that.
So-
So mind it. It's like
But well, for
Scoliopede
me-
is a wheel. He's a wheel.
Yeah,
bro.
he's a,
Nah, not about it.
yeah,
He's a
Scolipede is
motorcycle.
no. Okay, so Gen 5's got Scolipede, cool design. Look at that.
Yeah, he's,
Cool.
he's a motorcycle.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's just a big,
We
he's
got
just
a
a big
motorcycle
like.
legendary
he's just
now. Who
not
needs it?
true. You're power craft pussy.
Gen 5 is Volcarona.
Yeah, that
Volcarona's
thing's sick.
sick.
That thing is
In
goated.
in terms of Gen
Volcarona's
3
cool,
though,
cool as.
I think Walrein,
It's the hair, isn't it?
Glalie.
Yeah. You don't like ice types.
No, I love Snorunt, but I don't like Glalie.
Snorunt's funny.
Fair enough.
And I love
Gen 5 has
Spheal.
Galvantula.
You love what?
I love Spheal,
Oh yeah,
as we
funny.
said, but I don't like Makihita and the little dude as well, like the pre-evolved form. And
That is the pre-evolved form.
Yeah, is
Oh,
it
okay, well,
Makuhita evolves
and
into
Hariyama.
Hariyama?
Yeah, Hariyama. Don't like
'Cause it's a
Hariyama.
person.
It's
It's like a fat guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're not fighting. You're not. That's not a Pokemon you send out. That's a human. That's a guy. He's fighting for you.
And then
Go Todd.
is Exploud the big one with all the pipes in his
Yeah,
head?
yeah.
Nah,
Trypophobia.
get him out
That's
of there.
the trypophobia.
Wait,
Yeah.
Explode
Exploud.
with all the holes in his like.
Oh,
Yeah.
right,
Like
right.
Loudred I can do. Like he's an ugly Pokemon, but whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, Exploud, nah.
No.
Not about it.
You gotta go.
And then you have a perfect gen. If you get rid of those 5 Pokemon, it's like literally all great Pokemon.
What are the fucking bugs? Illuminati.
Oh, actually, yeah. Illinois.
These guys gotta go.
They're like. They're less offensive to
They're
me,
less-
but they're very boring.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
not good. Yeah. Can any Forest Finn? Got anything?
You've kind of been
Ew,
looking for a
Barbaracle.
long-
Oh,
I don't like
Fencer.
Barbaracle.
Oh, Crabominable is
Yeah.
awful as well.
Yeah.
They gotta go.
I don't
Barbaracle
like.
is bad.
See, I could easily come across ones I don't like, but they don't. I just they're just
Nothing
don't-
that's like, oh my god.
they don't stick out.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
do like the.
It's normally the
full
boring ones.
180 where he's like going through it. And he's like, oh, these are fucking disgusting. And he starts getting like really into how much he hates them all. That would be the perfect way to end the
I
segment.
hate Pokemon. A lot of the middle evolutions of like the
Yeah,
starters
some of
tend to
them,
be
like-
kind of
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of meant to be
they're kind of
forgettable.
meant to be or meant to be a bit awkward. And,
Like, no one remember. Like,
yeah,
what's...
Crab Roar. I
It
don't
was
like
like
it.
you that love
Wartortle.
Wartortle. Yeah. I was going to say
Wartortle's like the best Pokemon ever.
I think Wartortle's sick.
Yeah.
Like, what's Samurot's middle evolution
Duot's
called?
sick. I love Duot.
Duot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known.
Do what?
Do
Do what?
Do what?
Yeah.
What does he do?
Wooshka.
He
Eh?
evolves.
Oh, I get it.
Funny joke, guy.
Slow.
That's perfect. I feel like we've
These
really
ones.
just deteriorated so badly.
No, this has run its course.
This has run its course. You can't seem to find any Pokemon
Yeah,
that
you're
are
a-
completely
you're a
disgusting,
sensitive.
even though
Well,
there's
this
like
is-
500
this is-
of them.
Yeah,
I'm
First
so-
Pokemon that comes to your head.
for like one I don't like.
Yeah.
Love Disc now.
Paul loved this.
I like it.
Good.
And the only other thing I wanted to mention today, actually, wrapping up our Pokemon segment, was we realized how well people or states are doing this year at defending themselves during majors.
Mm-hmm.
So we had like Big Cheese, which was won by Ghost, South Australian. We had BAM, won by J Dizzle, Victorian, and then
And famous New South Welshman Neotono taking Phantom.
yeah, honorary New South Welshman.
Honorary New South Welsh.
Yeah, and obviously Jix winning whatever this one was called, Pissmas.
Pismas 3.
Yeah.
Loud and
Queensland
proud. I
Christmas
say it loud
major.
and proud. I love Pismas.
Now, what value do you actually put on attending
On the
like a
home team
major
advantage?
in your Do you think it's like an actual thing, or just has the best player just
I
won
think
all these
I think
tournaments?
there's the real advantages in
Yeah.
it'll most likely be easier to get out of pools because you're a top player playing against like lower level players that you're familiar with.
The familiarity.
Yeah.
Bro,
I mean-
bro won against
Also,
Simon Richter.
less travel, less hassle. You're much more comfortable.
You probably slept in your own bed.
Yeah, good night's
I
sleep.
think I remember
good
seeing
food.
something about how like if you're traveling to a major, if you can afford it, it's ideal to be there for a few days.
Yes.
To familiarize yourself with your environment. You can sleep better, all that.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. And then in terms of like the state doing better, like if it's in your state, you're probably
It's gonna
going to
be a
have
numbers-
all
it's a
10.
numbers
It's a
game.
numbers
Yeah.
game. You're
Yeah.
going to have all your 10 PR, probably 18 of your top 20 or 25. You know, like you're all there instead of all right. You only have 3 of your PR players there, like, and they all need to do well. For it
It's
to
less
show.
likely for out of state PR to get upset, but when it does happen, it's like a lot more devastating as well since you don't have those numbers.
That's a greater
Yeah.
percentage of their
Yeah.
player base.
And you even get like, I mean, for a long time, like the only or the best chance that a Queenslander had at making top 8 at major was if they faced another Queenslander in a qualifier,
Yeah.
and then you have a Queenslander and win a semis.
Yeah.
Because
Happened again.
otherwise they would be fighting Extra or Strix or J Dizzle or whoever, where it's like, yeah. So it would just kind of launch your other Queenslanders further into the bracket, or whatever state, depending on who's defending.
I will say, like, I agree, like, hometown, like, advantage is absolutely a thing. But also, in respect to these events, like, you would have to probably say the best player has just won all the events.
Yeah.
Jade is the best player in the country. He goes to BAM, he wins that. Ghost is, had a bunch of, like, pre-events with Strix, and they were going back and forth, so that's kind of 50-50. Playing the best character in the game, probably. And, yeah, like, you'd expect, like, first or second here.
Yeah.
And then Jix, we all agreed unanimously, was just going to win. So it was even surprising that they lost a set.
Yeah.
Although I did
You
predict
did call it.
I did call it.
You did call
But
it.
it was kind of surprising at the time.
Yeah.
So
Well, nobody
You-
really
you do-
expected.
well, it
the
didn't
two
look
to
like it was going to happen.
Nobody
No.
expected the Pacino.
Yeah, you do normally see like the strong showing
Yeah.
from the region, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's never like, oh, it's in Queensland,
No, so
so
that-
Negama's going to win the
Yeah,
major.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
that doesn't happen,
Yeah.
but
But as you guys
Yeah.
said, it's like it is sort of a numbers game. Like probably there's also like the familiarity thing. So like, I don't know this 13th player on the PR, and whereas in Smash 4 that player was like dog shit. They're not dog shit in ult. They can,
Yeah,
they can
that's
like
true.
they can play a bit. They get their confirms. They can kill you if they get you an advantage and stuff. They
Yeah.
have their setups and shit.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to play against them
Yeah,
in their
no.
character,
In a best
you-
of 3.
Yeah, you can for sure just lose.
Like, I mean, you
Easily.
look at Queensland PR, like Cruz, Stacked, all of
Yeah,
this, like
all competent
lower
players.
end
Yeah.
PR are definitely able to take sets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
off.
or
they
stacked
have-
beat Unpheasant
Stacked
at
beat
Phantom.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
there you go.
So
Best player in the fucking country.
yeah,
Pheasant.
he's going to the action actually for
Yeah,
first
really?
tournament in a while. He's going
Oh,
to.
that's exciting.
Yeah.
My interest has peaked for that a lot.
Mm.
I wasn't like that keen on it. I wasn't like that interested in it, but that's really good. That guy's nuts. Monster. Yeah, well, I think that'll just about wrap us up for today. But again, I mentioned at the top of the episode, I'll mention it again. It's just been such a pleasure doing the podcast with you guys each week. And thanks so much, everyone, for listening. Anything you guys want to say about sort of the experience so far or how you found it or whatever you want to say in general?
Oh, it's been really good. For me, I've just wanted to talk about kind of the history of Smash for a long time and bring up the Brawl or Smash 4 days for a lot of people that don't know anything about it, or even yet, like you have the new Ultimate players now who know nothing about the start of Ultimate. So I think just kind of bringing that kind of history of Australian Smash to the forefront of people's minds, I think is something that I'd even like to do even more on top of what we have done already, and I've been enjoying that a lot.
Yeah, I've been surprised by the how well that has been received, because when we started talking about like Brawl history and stuff, I knew you were interested in it, but I thought I was kind of saying it for my benefit, because I was like, I find this interesting, I'll talk about it. And then we had a lot of people saying like, hey, that Brawl history stuff is like really interesting, so I'm really happy with how well that's been received. Do you have anything you want to say, Eric?
I've had a lot of fun doing this, actually. We've met.
Surprised, he said. I've spent each week with you guys. I'm surprised that I haven't wanted to kill myself yet.
We've had a lot of like wonderful guests on.
Yeah.
Really, a lot of people have just been like, like excited to be on the podcast, and that's really cool. It's kind of like a cool feeling. Having people, listen to the podcast, listen to us ramble and complain about stuff, or like that kind of stuff.
K-Rool, honestly.
Yeah. I'm just excited for season 2.
Yeah, I don't know when we'll be back. We'll work that out, and we'll tweet that out when we
We
know.
have to do one before the action, I think.
When is the action?
January
20th?
It's like late January.
Maybe somewhere around
22nd,
Genesis,
23rd.
because Genesis is in
Oh,
Jan as well.
Genesis
So
is Genesis.
somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
you could do like 10th of January start up
And
or
hey,
something.
we might pop out some content in the meantime as well, or who knows what we'll do. But yeah, last episode for a little while. But wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and hope you all have a fantastic time and stay safe and all that. Anything you want to say, Finn?
I'm glad I could bring my revolutionary ideas to the
Triple-
forefront.
yeah, yes.
Like
Finally
triple
get it out
elimination.
there.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to the next major guys being done triple elim.
Triple elim bracket.
I think we
It'll have to
clarified
be a
exactly-
5-day event.
Yeah, got the schematics working of how exactly that's going to work and ironed that all out. So that's going to be good. But yeah, it's been such
And
a
the best
pleasure.
player will win.
Yeah,
That's true.
could
For real. Like if you ever feel like you after if I could just like if you lose twice and like if I could just have one more chance, I could easily beat. I could easily beat whoever,
honestly,
whoever's in grands 3 times.
if I didn't lose winners round 1 and then losers like round 2, I probably could have won this tournament.
The
Like,
whole thing,
honestly,
yeah.
I think I was like that. They were close.
I need 3 to 5 business days, but
Yeah.
yes. So.
They were all very close 0-3s as well, to be honest.
Yes.
But yeah, as I said, it's been a pleasure, and I'm going to reiterate this again. But anything you guys want to see, want us to talk about or discuss, or any sort of content you want to see,
Or
please,
whoever you'd like to
exactly.
see
If
on.
you, any, put, add us or put a comment on the YouTube channel, DM us or whatever, and let us know someone who you think would make a great guest, because we are totally happy to talk to anybody. We don't have to have met them. We'll talk to any random on the street. That's fine. Get them on the
just say
podcast.
Finn again. It's okay.
Yeah. And if you want Finn again for whatever reason, just let us know.
We'll put up with it.
I'm hoping that we can.
If
get
you want to
more-
get rid of Ben, just say it's
Yeah,
okay.
just say, just hashtag replace Ben with Finn. And that's fine. And we'll do it. It's fine.
Get it trending.
I'm hoping that we
Save a
can
lot of
get
hassle.
more interstate guests.
Yeah,
on
hopefully.
next
Yeah,
hopefully.
Season.
Next season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'll be
and
good.
I promise to remember the episode numbers next season.
Well, hopefully we won't have any.
Well, it'll just,
We'll
be,
start from
it'll
one
just be
again.
season 2, episode 1,
Yeah.
yeah.
and then
I-
season
my-
2, episode 2.
Well, that's what it's been this season, Finn, but I've forgotten them all, you see. So
Well,
it
there's
doesn't
fresh-
help.
fresh start, fresh
yeah,
start.
hopefully. But
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
thanks
yeah.
so much, guys. Have a wonderful and safe and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we'll talk to you all again very soon. Signing off.
Farewell.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.
The kitchen room has the most acoustic.
I've actually owned a Ridge It's just reverberating everywhere.
I'm thinking about
Please, God, turn it off, please.
Yeah, we're gonna get the hammer.
Sending him up to the which
Aldehyde resin.
Crash technique.
To give it that cash feel. But you can't just buy the paper they use for money.
Yeah,
Although
right.
you can buy stuff that are pretty
We're not joking around.